Hello, guys, and welcome back to the New Wave Invitationals. It's a fine Wednesday night tonight, and this is gonna be our second day of our 3 day broadcast this week. I'm Dax, and joining me is Mika herself, gonna be looking to come on in today for some Overwatch action yet again. So, Mika, how you doing on this fine night?
Well, hey, it's been an exciting week. It's been a very hot week too, so it's a good thing we are riding the new wave here. I
Wow.
know a lot. Yes, a lot of people are staying indoors and turning on their ACs because it's been such a hot week. So I hope these guys are ready for some equally hot action tonight.
That's true, that's true. And we are in the New Wave Invitationals. We are going to have two matches for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to start things off with Server versus UwUwatch. And the next one will be later on Washed Up Omi versus Overvex, as we had to reschedule that one from yesterday to today. But here we go with our starting rosters between Server as well as UwUwatch. We got Santa Pops, Chico, Ice Tube, Cockenbear, Karn, and Sacred for Server's side. With Mercy and Not and taking the bench for the time being. And on the other side of the coin, we got Charlotte, Inoa, Ryusu, Kadena, Invox, Elixiri, and two Happy Ball to start things off. Izumi, Sagiri, and Jack gonna be those bench players instead. And what do you think? It's gonna be a big matchup here, Mika. Who do you have your eye on in these rosters?
Looking at the stats of these two teams, it looks like they're pretty much on even ground. So I think it's gonna boil down to team composition and whatever maps they've been playing or they've been practicing on. It's gonna boil down to circumstances right now because I think skill wise these guys are a really good match for each other.
That's true. That's true. I think this is one of our most even matchups coming into the New Wave Invitationals. I can't wait to see what's in store for us. But last time, yesterday actually, we were able to chat Meme Court versus Cakes. And did you have any opinions after that one, watching that match unfold, Miss Mika?
So looking at that match, of course, Meme Cord came out on top, and but Cakes was managed to get the last point, wasn't that right on
Yeah.
Volskaya?
Yeah, they won
Yes.
that last one, so it's like surprise, surprise, the classic meme court choke as they term it. But it was a pretty interesting game. It started all meme court, and then at the second half, after the halftime break, it seems like it helped the side of Cakes a lot, almost got Route 66 and took Volskaya Industries. So it really goes to show that halftime parts and just the four map affair really such a big deal. There are potential comebacks, there are potential ways to really figure things out. And Uber Server versus UwUwatch gonna be our matchup here, and now maybe we'll see the same kind of thing. But let's look at the standings real quick. We got Wamanagi all the way at the top. Meme Court taking second place after yesterday's victory. But look at 5th and 6th. Uber Server and UwUwatch all tied up and ready to go. Looking to just come on back and try and figure out how many matches they can get in the New Wave Invitationals. So it seems like, Mika, your team though, all the way down below, is it time for the epic comeback? Is it gonna be a sweep of games into the future?
Maybe. Hopefully, we'll get a second chance for everything. But right now, I mean, I think the team is just happy to be able to play against players with this kind of skill level instead of just doing the usual ladder games every night. I mean, this the new wave invitationals. I think for all of the teams involved, really adds a new dimension to how you play Overwatch. I mean, as a player, even as a viewer, I would think because there are just some things that don't come out in your casual games, in your casual scripts, which is why I think, this initiative is an important one for the community.
I thought you were gonna whip out the a new wave pun again. You're gonna be like, it's
I
such
think I'm done
a
for now. I think I'm
it's
done
a,
for
it's
now.
just like the rising tides, that kind of thing. But hey, we make all these surf jokes and the like, but we're just happy to be here, and we are gonna be getting started very very soon. So remember, guys, our sets is our four maps. We do start things off with control. We go on to hybrid, we go on to escort, and then we go on to assault at the last moment. So what do you think, Amika, in terms of those four map types and in terms of that order, what do you think is like the most penultimate map? Like, which one? Map 1, map 2, map 3, map 4? Which one do you think is like the most important to really set the tempo, the tone of a series like this?
I definitely think it's the third map. I think for a lot of teams because for one, I mean, in terms of like setting the score, getting even. Once a team that might be like 0-2 once they have a chance to get that third map, then they can start setting the tone for a comeback possibly, and tying up or even evening out the score. So I think it's really that third map when teams start to really get serious, or really really draw a line in the sand, that kind of thing. Although I would think, like, skill wise, I still think it's King of the Hill that really sort of, like, puts everybody on an even playing field, and it really boils down to teamwork and mechanical skill.
That's true. That's true. Like, we start things off on control because first things first. At least someone's gonna win. That's for sure. There's no way that's gonna draw unless no one, it doesn't even draw if you don't capture it. It just never ends. It just never ends. I'm surprised no one has ever done that on like a tournament just to meme it up. Just never cap the point. Just kill each other forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And you guys are tuned into the New Wave Invitationals. So I hope you guys are having a great time here and now. And just a quick little FYI, we got some of the POV streams going on the side of UwUwatch. You want to check that one out. But be careful, of course, and everything and all the like, especially when you're streaming without a delay or some stuff. But hey, actually, we'll be setting a few things up here and there, and we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just make sure everyone is fine and dandy as the teams are getting set up into our lobby. It seems like that we are going to be starting things off on control, as Mika said, and our first map is looking to be Nepal. So yeah, Nepal gonna be an interesting pick. There's a lot of dimensions here on that map. There's many compositions you can actually run, and we'll see. Since it's a little off standard, usually you see Lee Chan Tower, usually you see Busan instead. But hey, confirmation for map number 1 is going to be Nepal. So we'll see how that one is gonna unfold in just a bit, Mika. So I'm gonna ask you about your thoughts as soon as we come back from the break, and we'll be right back with this coordinate with some of the teams. Don't go away. This is the New Wave Invitationals. So hello guys and welcome back. Seems like everything is set and ready to go and we are going to be moving into Nepal in just a bit. But Mika, one good thing, one big thing actually, is going to be that tank line matchup between Sandapaps and Chico versus Charlotte and Indomaryusu. And Mr. Statsman Reaper setting things up yet again for us here in the New Wave Invitationals and giving us a little bit of that stat information real quick. And the first thing I noticed, well, Santapaps is a scary man, that's for sure, with a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage here from our main tank Anubis server side.
That's right. And Chico as well. I mean, like his high averaging, well, not averaging, his highest eliminations includes 52. That is amazing. He is like surpassing the damage dealers over here. But stats wise, I mean, like on an average, Santa Pops and Chico, like they have both of them have like about in between maybe 20 total average eliminations for every 10 minutes. And damage wise, Santa Pops has about 12,800 damage for every 10 minutes, and Chico at 8,800. Now that puts them pretty much on even footing, maybe just a difference of just a few thousands or, negligible difference between Charlotte and Inu Arisu, because Charlotte has an average eliminations of about 21 and Inu Arisu has about 17. Damage wise, they have about 5,500 and 6,500 respectively. So I really think, actually, you know what? And in terms of the average eliminations, it seems like Chico is really dealing a lot of damage and really delivering and those finishing blows. Charlotte and Ino Arisu, on the other hand, also managed to really get those eliminations in. So these tanks are really, 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 playing aggressive, I would say, and dealing a lot of damage rather than just staying back and creating space. They are also doing their part to cause as much mayhem as they possibly can. So it's going to be, I think, it's going to be a really exciting match between these two tank duos.
It's really interesting how these stats work. Like, we have Santa Paps with almost 13k average damage, but he is only at 18, almost 18 eliminations. On the other side, for Chico, he has most of the elims under his belt. And then you look on the other side, it's time it's Charlotte with almost all the eliminations there with only 5.5k damage. So it really goes to show that, like, overall, for these two teams, the stats do matter in there are many different ways, but it's just ridiculous how the damage doesn't really translate into kills for Santa Pops, while on the other side for Chico, the damage does translate into kills more so. And then for Charlotte and Inomaru, they're very, very close to one another, and they're really close to basically what they do have in general. So I do want to say that Uber server might have a little bit of the edge here in terms of that attack line, in terms of lethality, but I'd love to see a little more protection here from Charlotte and Inomaru, and I think that's what is the other half of this table is, or what the other half of the half damage situation here for Charlotte and Inomaru. They have less damage than the tank line of Santa Pops and Chico because they are very, very oriented in playing the more defensive style of tanks, and you can really see it's all about them blocking that damage, making sure to protect their team. And well, it's a little different though when Inomaru whips out that ball, so maybe we'll see Inomaru ball come on back yet again. But Mika, I have a question for you. What do you think is going to be composition to run for Uber server in terms of the tank line? And what do you think is the comp to run here for UwUwatch as well on the same foot?
Well, we did see Ino on the ball over there, so we might see possibly a dive, maybe a ball Winston or a ball Diva coming in from Charlotte and Ino. Santa Pops and Chico, I think, will probably go for the more brawly tank lineup, possibly a Ryan and Zarya.
Yeah, that's pretty much I would expect. It's pretty much the comfort picks here and there, but it seems like it's time to actually get into Nepal, and we are set and ready to go into map number 1. I'd love to see all of that. The Ryan Zarya, the Ryan Diva, the dive composition, the double shield, the Orisa, Halt with the Roadhog hook. But hey, into Nepal we go. As we said, a very, very interesting map to have many, many different compositions. And this, guys, is the New Wave Invitationals. We are coming on in for week number 5, day number 2. We'll still have a third day this week, which is pretty amazing, honestly. But hey, it's time to get into the brawl and into the action and into the fun that is the New Wave Invitationals. We got Uber server on the blue hand side, and it's UwUwatch on the red instead. Let's see how this one is gonna unfold as we move into Sanctum to start things off.
Right, and Nepal is a really straightforward map. I mean, it's one of those maps where it really encourages the fights to happen like right on the points, as compared to like Busan or Lijiang, where the fights happen slightly off the point. So how do you think the dive the dive composition that we're predicting is going to compare to maybe the more brawly style of Uber server over here.
Well, it's pretty simple. Yat in Oriusu on that ball, he's gonna be looking for those poops. In the meantime, for Uber server, it's all about that setup. They are gonna try to get a little bit of environmental action as well, and it feels like for Uber server, gonna be setting up on the side of their staircase. Now, you're playing the Orisa here for Uber server, so this does mean you want to be playing a little off the point, but not completely. You're not gonna be staying at the ledges, that's for sure. You only have Gokumber there on that Ashley. He's the only one using that one. Ice Tube gonna be on that Genji instead. So for Uber server, they set up near the objective, but not on it, and that should be enough to get some ult action on. On the other side though, it's UwUwatch with Inoryusu on that Wrecking Ball, and immediately Havoc is abound. We were talking about Inoryusu on his ball every single time we saw it last time against Washed Up Homies, and well, we honestly feel like if he played this hero a lot more, they could have gotten a better result, but hey, on to the point they go already. UwUwatch with a strong start, and this is the dive we were talking about from UwUwatch. They have found their identity, and it's a hot start here and now for that tank line.
Inorisa really just charging on there and just really almost getting a team kill right within less than 30 seconds of our map.
Chico though with that hook. Seems like the Roadhog is a good way to put a stop to this. And I do like how Uber server is playing that whole hook. Can be a really good way to get the catch onto Inoa. And Chico is fragging out the Roadhog, looking nigh unstoppable on the left-hand side. The power of the Roadhog uncontested is really one big one. Sure, you need a lot of ult charge, but you can't get that one-hit potential with a halt, with a hook, with a shotgun combination to boot. Charlotte though out in front. This is going to be the D.Va trying to make things work. And this is very interesting dynamic here, Mika. So for UwUwatch, as Uber server is trying to get that point out back, they do go for a little bit of roll swap because Inoryusu is that ball master and Charlotte moves over to D.Va instead. They effectively trade roles as it's Inoa on the main tap and Charlotte on the off tank instead.
Interesting here also, Chico I think is like anticipating in this map that he'll be able to set up and maybe go fishing just a bit, but Elixirine on that Ana is really, you know, saving those grenades for him to prevent his healing, prevent Roadhog from being that sustainable burly tank over there. So I'm not sure how much damage he can deal with that Ana watching him.
Ridiculous though, Ice Tube with the deflect onto Cadena's Deadeye, and Uber server staying on that point. We have seen Chico go for a few hooks here and there. Invox able to recall out that one earlier on, and UwUwatch back into the fold. Really making this as close as possible. It's Chico's time to shine though on this hog. Gets fire grenaded, really Elixirine, shutting down the tankiness of this Australia basically. And seems like Uber server gonna be backing on that. It's from New Zealand actually. Like it's barely a difference, but it is a length of an ocean or sea.
Oh, I had no idea.
I think so. I think
I
think I'm correct with that. Like it's Junkrat from Australia and it's Roadhog from New Zealand. But I might be wrong. You know, you can check that out in the wiki or something like that. But Ice Tubig with the blade, Sandire in response from two happy balls. Self-destruct gonna be there as well. And UwUwatch right now rolling around at the speed of sound. But you know what puts a stop to this? It's just the whole hog here now from Chico. Really getting the push on, really looking to get some value overall. And on to the point, Uber server goes yet again. There we have the formation, and this is exactly what they need to do. They need to be staying on one quadrant, on one side of this point, get the hold on, throw people into that pit, and exactly as oh my god, what a poop there from Inoryusu. He's able to stay on to the objective, and wow, UwUwatch still in this fight because the mines are available here, and now pops it onto the objective, and Inoryusu does get to yet again. The Wrecking Ball looking nigh unstoppable so far. Here we go now with the overtime taking on away, but Uber server with point on back, but this might just be a short rent here because Cadena is on the Reaper instead, and for UwUwatch they have a good footing. They have some really good CQC, and they get the flip. Santa Puff still coming on back yet again. Pulse Bomb gonna be there. Here we go with the shield play, and this should be it, Mika. UwUwatch having complete control, having a big number onto the point. The only saving grace here for Uber server is that was onto that Genji, but he doesn't even have the blade as of yet. Damage not being done. Karna will go down. Chico with a trade onto one. Oh, Ice Tubik making it happen, but they still need to stay on that objective. I feel it's set on up. They forget about that one as Ice Tubik will fall, and it is too late, and Chico gonna fall into the abyss as well. Uber server unable to hold because UwUwatch disrupting every single part of their plan.
Oh man, I really think Santpop's going down and taking a tumble into the where there was a bit of a turning point because that allowed Inoris really just zone out everybody. Even with Kokumber's Deadeye, it just wasn't in the Uber server. UwUwatch was able to regroup, and that just eventually allowed them to steamroll Uber server their side.
Usually Xanopause was absolutely huge because they need that Eraser there to set up with the halt and to also stabilize on the objective. But now we do see the Ryan and the Zarya instead here from Ube's server. Xanopop's bread and butter, and Chico, honestly, from what I remember his history, he used to basically be a Zarya one trick, then moved on over to a little bit more onto that Road Dog as well. So yeah, Ube's server gonna be looking very, very comfortable. Combear looking to play the utility Sombra, and this is gonna be a good counter potentially as Inoue Ryuzu is on that ball still, and Charlotte moves over to the Winston instead for the aggressive dive variant. UwUwatch right now with the initiation, and Inoue Ryuzu is just having a brawl, having some fun, bowling around, and honestly showing that when you have the wild card that is the Wrecking Ball, it makes such a big difference for your team.
That's true, and I think Cockenbear here is trying to counter the Wrecking Ball right now, but it doesn't seem like they're dealing enough damage. But maybe the switch onto the Reaper by Ice Too Big might make a difference now.
I'm just glad that Inoue Ryuzu took our advice from the last one. It seems like for UwUwatch, they did watch the VOD and basically listened to me bitching about, hey, Inoue Ryuzu, play that ball. And right now, he is doing absolutely wonderful. He is on a 7-12-2 scoreline with 5.3 damage, above and beyond all his peers, honestly. But he has to be careful when someone plays that Sombra instead. Good field play though from Charlotte, gets in the way, but they do have to be careful when they're playing that aggressive dive against both the Reaper and the Sombra. That's a lot of damage, and the Focus Fire hacks, and Cockenbear really making Inoue Ryuzu have the toughest time of them all, and eventually this is Ube's server getting the point back.
It's interesting to note that both teams have about the same damage, with Ube's server just, leading just a bit, but it's looking like UwUwatch are really dealing those eliminations, which is really what counts. Even though you deal the same amount of damage, what really matters is when you finish it up and follow it up.
Yeah, and you know what's a good way to finish off someone is to knock them into a pit, knock them off the cliff, something like that. And the funny thing about Nepal, there are a lot of areas for environmental stats for sure, as it is on the side of a mountain. But right here, right now, it's time for the coalescence to come through. EMP does get through, and that's a big one there from Cockenbear. Taking care of the front line with the silence is absolutely huge, because Charlotte and Inoue Ryuzu need those abilities to keep the mobility on. But here comes Elixirine right now with the Nano Boost, gonna give it to Il Kodena, I believe, into the front line. Grab the surge to stop up the Reaper in the middle after the Reaper has been used, and Chico with the proper time. Ube's server trying to brawl here and now looking for the 1-to-1 scoreline, and with Chico in the front line with a lot of energy, they have to be very careful on the other side of the coin.
Chico compensating wonderfully for that loss of Xanopop's, and I think Xanopop's used his shatter in that fight and just got denied right away. Good thing Chico was ready with his grab to catch everybody and preventing UwUwatch from taking the point.
And now Ube's server all over into the front line, and they do see UwUwatch looking for a rotation onto the west side of the point instead. A very safe rotation, I like this here from UwUwatch, as they go for the Ryan Zarya mirror instead. Since the Wrecking Ball is getting hampered, they are gonna try to whip things out with the brawl composition instead. But Invox gonna fall after the blade onto one. Death Blossom's gonna be at the same time, and who has a little more edge? It seems like Ice Too Big having more of those casualties on the other side. Ube's server able to get the spin on, very close, but I feel like that turning point there had to be the shutdown onto Invox. 93% and counting here, Mika. Can UwUwatch do anything else by this point?
That's right. Bear also attempt to hack the Genji.
Did you see that? Did you see that? Invox blinks in.
I'm so sorry for Invox.
They're just destroyed. It's one of those when you play a fighting game and your opponent is actually one of those arcade gods. You just sit down, have a casual time, and he just gets perfect after perfect after perfect. That was exactly it. Ice Too Big literally executes Invox on the spot, and we just saw his head get blown off. Ube's server now tying things up 1-to-1, but I love the swaps here from Ube's server, really putting a hamper on that Sombra. And well, Inoue Ryuzu and his Wrecking Ball gets shut down there because UwUwatch unable to really get the peel in time.
Oh, that was just painful for Invox, blinking right into Reaper's shotgun.
That's so heartbreaking, honestly. But hey, it is what it is. And I hope you guys aren't having any issues again. We're just not dropping frames. You know, it's weird. It's just weird sometimes how Twitch works. We're not dropping frames, but I do know that there are people who have buffer errors from time to time. And hey, it is what it is. So hope you guys can just enjoy the show anyway. Fire Strike gonna be tossed on that. Here we go with the push already. Sleep Dart will connect onto Chico. He's taking a little bit of a nap there. But got that being bounced around as well. And Ube's server onto the high ground yet again. Still, interesting enough, it's UwUwatch playing that Symmetra, but they can't be playing a brawl like this with the Sim not all powered up. And a big nade there from Karna gets a toss on, even though UwUwatch gets the initial capture. UwUserver cascading in position, and it should be enough for them to get the point on back.
Well, playing this in Metro, of course, we have to you have to make sure that you set up on that point really early, and it doesn't seem like Dina was able to set up quite as fast, possibly disrupted by Kokombear and the chaos going on caused by the tanks. But she was setting up some turrets. Doesn't seem like it was gonna work, so they have to make a decision. Are they gonna stick with this Symmetra, or will they switch out? They've got to switch out now if they do.
Anyway, it is what it is, but hey, we got UwUserver looking to set on up onto the right-hand side. Fire Strike gonna be there, Biotic are being bounced around yet again, and Sacred right now, Coalescence is in hand, and UwUserver looking around yet again. Cold out top by UwUserver. They are trying to anticipate UwUwatch going for the TP play, but it's UwUwatch already on the objective. Charlotte gonna get one in over, Isu gets traded down. He was backing on getting that Primal Age, but it isn't gonna happen. Gravitas Surge gonna be there instead. Inbox with a Pulse Bomb as well, and just all that damage now being done by UwUwatch. They do get back in position. They get a little bit of that CQC on, and that should be enough for them to get the flip on back.
There you go, and the setup was just right as the grab hit right in the middle of those two turrets, or three turrets rather. So it's like, are you gonna come close or then finish off everybody in the grab, or are you gonna get damaged by all of this, this web that the Symmetra has woven?
Yeah.
I gotta correct my own grammar, come on!
It's just weird to hear you come out in a whimper, knowing the fabulous Mika Fabula, on all her glory, just on the end with a whimper. There's like,
I whimper
what did I just
sometimes.
hear? That's kind of cute, you know. It's different. It's a different kind of whimper, okay. But yeah, UwUwatch now gonna be staying on the south side. I love their spacing though. No, all jokes aside, I love how they're playing the space game. They now are on the defensive end, and they can play the Symmetra a little less in your face and more on using those turrets to get the slowdown on. And UwUserver needs to react properly to this because it's looking a little tough for them right now. UwUwatch all over the objective, and even though everything is tied up, it really is a defender's advantage here and now for the red side.
But check it out, Dax. Looks like we're gonna get an EMP really soon, possibly coupled with the Death Blossom and maybe a Nano Reaper coming in from Karna. So we'll see, possibly UwUserver could take this back.
EMP, it's a Death Blossom, but Charlotte with a big bomb in behind does get to anticipating the action. Chica though will get that Nano Boost, and tracking gonna be absolutely essential to try and take down Inbox. Now there we go with the Hammer Swing, 100 energy here for Chica, actually destroying the opposition. The Nano Boost was enough to keep him tanky, and you can really see that this guy, as we said in the stats, high on those eliminations, getting those final blows. And look at that, 27 eliminations overall, 14 final blows, 13 assists. This is Chico's time to shine, and he is looking so solid on that off tank.
That's right. He's a damage dealer in disguise, I think. I think actually, like, UwUserver, later on we're gonna check out Sacred stats. These, Chico and Sacred, I think, are damage dealers in disguise, in playing as a healer or playing as a tank.
That's true. We might be able to check that one out. Just a Rebirth, of course, someone we can always rely on to bring that kind of flavor to our stream. But hey, you know what else is gonna be that flavor? It's UwUwatch looking for the teleporter onto the point yet again. That's gonna be a charge, and that's very dangerous there from Minoru Isu. Punish from Santa Pop's gonna happen, but it is not enough. Grab this right now from Chico. Coalesce is keeping the top up on, and either side can take this because both sides having footing, but without the main tank, it's difficult for UwUserver to still stay alive. It's now ice to ice too big, could really blow things up. Charlotte though with a bomb again, and it is a zoning force yet again. UwUwatch right now all over the objective, had gotten frags left, right, and center. Charlotte doing an absolutely magnum job on that diva, and last chance right here right now for UwUserver. It has to be Chico going for the ball. Can he get the touch? He doesn't have the hook yet. He might need to make it over to the other side, but gets blown up by Inbox. What a delivery there with the pulse bomb, and that is going to be game, set, and match. Either side good with taking that one, but UwUwatch will win that one 2-1, 100-99 at the last moments.
That's right. I'm just steamrolling and into the point with the teleporter. I actually didn't think that it would work because I thought that UwUserver might be ready for them. I mean, seeing that teleporter right there, but it looks like they weren't ready at all. And Santa Pop just going down there was really unfortunate. They needed him to deliver, and they just lost him way too early.
Yeah, without your main tank, not gonna be able to stabilize, and that was the show there. UwUwatch taking that one, but that was as we expected, as close as can be.
It's okay, Chico. No, he did.
He deserved it. He deserves the pat on the back. And if no one's gonna give
Slap
it
on
to
the back.
him, well, he pat himself. But hey, that was a really close match. And honestly, as we said, this is gonna be a very close matchup in terms of SR. I think this is one of the most even matchups ever. They are both at around the let me remember 2600 range in terms of our bracket, so it really goes to show this is as even as it can get between UwUwatch but versus Ubi server. But the thing about UwUwatch though is they have looking mighty impressive so far, because their last match against Watch Dogs Homies, that was a pretty interesting one, really going down to the wire in many instances. And I feel like they're riding that momentum, getting more identity from that VOD, getting more identity from that match, learning what they're really strong at, and they were able to execute it on the spot here on Nepal.
That's right. And correct me if I'm wrong, but UwUwatch is Yumi and Fascinate Baby as well, aren't they?
Yes, the
Yes.
second baby, like
The second baby. That's
the
right.
new child, the newest child, or the UwUwatch child. But directly, it is Invox who is the baby, the Yumi baby. Basically, it's not even a fascinating baby. It's like Yumi runs an orphanage basically, and here you go, come in, don't worry, everything's fine. Have you ever watched Madeline, Mika? That's pretty much it.
Yes, of
She is
course.
Miss Clavel. We love her bread, we love her butter, but most of all,
But
we love
most of
Mommy
all, we
Yumi.
love each other.
No, we love Mami Yumi, who is the best yaya of them all. But there you go. Nepal is taken here by UwUwatch. Very close victory, 2-1 in that scoreline. And Mika, I have a question for you. What do you think was instrumental for UwUwatch to really take that W?
Oh, I really think that Ino Arizo on the ball, that dive composition really worked well. You're absolutely right. That seems to be their identity because they seem to have really taken it to heart and just gone full on with it. I mean, I think that UwUwatch had more team plays in this map than Ube server did.
Yeah, I feel like that was the case too. There are many instances where it was the Chico show there for Ubi's server, but there I do have one caveat on that note, was on Shrine, if I remember correctly. That was some really good gameplay from Ubi's server, especially how they were using that Sombra to get those hacks, perfect EMPs into the front line, really shutting down the dive, and that was when they were able to take the win on that round. But beyond that, you also on Village, it looked a little sloppy again, and it was the teleporter really cutting them down. And I did see for Uber server they had an idea how to shut it down. They were trying to get enough of the choke damage on, try to get the cluster in time, but they were not anticipating or reacting well enough to the TP play. They're not really in position for it, and it was just a few misplays on both sides that really made it even. But in the end, UwUwatch with that X factor with the Symmetra able to take that village map, and it happens. Honestly, it happens when you're not ready for the Symmetra. You're surprised by the TP, you're surprised by the turrets, and that is what the big beam is all about.
That's right. And it really only takes like it's a difference of seconds. The moment you are, 1 second behind, 2 seconds behind, that is it. That's over. Symmetra gets a chance to set up, and before you know it, you're being eaten alive by all those turrets. You can't take down the teleporter. The team has respawned. So that's what also makes the Symmetra play interesting, I think.
You know what was also interesting? The redemption art of Invox. After he gets destroyed in the face by the Reaper on the second round, he gets a pulse bomb stick onto the wrecking ball and secures the third round for them. It was just like, oh,
That's
this
right.
guy,
That's right.
oh, this guy was just like, he got destroyed. He was dead. He was like super dead. Like if you could think of how dead you could be, that was Invox there. He was just immediately one tap. I was like, are we watching a different game? Is this CS? Is this Valorant? I was like, that's not how this game works. You don't get one tapped in the head in this game, but hey, it happened to poor
He dealt
Invox.
it back.
He,
He dealt
he,
it right back to the wrecking ball.
I mean,
So
that's true.
good
That's
on
true.
him.
That's true. It's a little different though. Like the meatiness of a shot. Actually, you see it in Overwatch. In Overwatch, is like a headshot is painful, especially for someone like a Widowmaker. Sure, that's you expect it, but like a Reaper, it's like, and then you're done. It's like
Oh
executed.
yeah,
It's different. It's
possibly. I
different.
think. I think one of the most painful shots in the game, just because since Reaper is just such a brawly character, you really have to get up close there, and to get one shotted by a Reaper, it's just it kind of goes to show how close you were to
Yes.
actually,
No,
you
no,
know,
the shotgun is bad. Don't touch the shotgun, guys. Okay. So anyway, though, speaking of damage, though, we'll be looking into the stats of that's a debate. We're looking into the support line because Mika did bring it up. And who was that one again? We were mentioning in that map there was a damage dealer in disguise as a support.
oh, It was actually Sacred. If you look at Sacred stats over here, I mean, we'll get to the damage dealers in a bit, but Sacred is actually, I think, quite up there with in terms of dealing damage. I mean, his average eliminations per 10 minutes is about 18, close to 19, with about 6,500 average damage. Highest eliminations 41. That is impressive for somebody who's supposed to be a healer. Now, that's not to say that he doesn't heal as well, but it's just I think that like the finishing blows are really coming here for
Yeah,
on the side of Ube server, really coming from Chico and Sacred. I guess that that extra punch is just coming from this tank and this
I just
healer that are actually just dealing damage as well.
I'm just trying to remember. Like we did for some reason we don't have that average healing from Sacred. So I'm just trying to remember. Was he even on this role before? That's the most interesting part because Mr. Rebirth here giving us like a big no data
It's
on. So what does that mean, Mika? What like, can you remember? Can you recall what Sacred was
shout out.
on?
Can we shout out to our very very hardworking statsman Rebirth
Yeah, and
over
speaking
here?
of shout out, can you answer our question? I think we asked you this before the stream. Like, what is up with Sacred stats? Why does he not have any average healing? What was the history of Sacred there? So, because he is above beyond those stats, that's for sure. I think he was on tank for a while. I'm gonna try to recall on that, but
Was he on,
let's look at everyone
was
else.
he
So
on
the
that,
like he was on
well,
something. Come on, come on. I feel like we're flubbing here because we were forgetting about a key component that we were not supplied. But but the thing to really notice right now is two Happy Ball and Elixirine are pretty high
that's
up on that healing. Like as we've seen Elixirine Mika, especially just play all that healers, really getting so much potential with the HP top ups. 8.173 average healing per 10 minutes, absolutely ridiculous on that side. And while we are really wondering what's up with the support line here, well, for UwUwatch, it's a very condensed, it's very secure, and I do think that they are really good to go with the top up in behind.
That's right. Because on the side of Uber server, we also have to bring up Karna, who has a total average healing of about 2,500. Really steady, but also dealing a little bit of damage with about 4 eliminations. Pretty decent for a healer, of course. Sacred, we already talked about him, but it's looking like I guess two Happy Ball and Elixirine are really just sustaining Uwatch a little bit more, possibly. I mean, with Sacred dealing this amount of damage, it's possible that he might be 50-50 on the healing. I'm data. Hi, Mr. Rebirth. We could probably bring that up a little, but right now it's looking like Uwatch is Uwatch's healing seems to be a tad more stable, possibly than Ube servers.
Yeah, that's what I think too. And I'm just looking through the stats real quick, trying to remember what is up with Uber server. But let's move away from that. And I really have seen for Uber server in this game that they have been able to really bring it back in that regard. So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was not Vernon usually playing that support. So that's something really to note in the first place. So I just all about trying to figure out how things go, and it was Ice Too Big. I think no, it was not Vernon and Karna who were usually on support. So seeing Sacred on support now is a little bit different. I'm trying to remember what role he was, but he wasn't on support before, so it does have that issue here. It does have the little bit of a question. Yeah, he was on tank. Okay, so there you go. We finally figured it out, guys. From for this is the first time Sacred is gonna be on that support actually. It has been Karna and not Vernon. He was on support at the last half, basically on one map of the last match. That was his first time on supports in his team. So there you go. That is exactly it. We have figured it out. We have figured out the mystery, guys. I love it. We do things on the
Good
stream
job,
because
Dax.
it's like, why does this guy not have any healing whatsoever? And it makes sense. He doesn't have any data because he probably didn't make that 10-minute mark. And it is what it is. So that's how it happens. So Sacred doing a pretty good job. I like the swaps, honestly. I still think Cobb Bear doing a pretty solid job in figuring things out in terms of counter picks, especially Comber on that Sombra Ice Too Big, whipping out the Reaper as well. So, it is what it is. And this new Uber server identity is looking pretty good. And of course, with their main DPS on the bench, Madame Mercy herself, well, the two have really stepped up in that regard in that plate. And well, seems like Uber server. Are we gonna get any subs? That's gonna be the real question as we move into our second map, and that one is going to be King's Row, classic King's Row.
Oh,
You can never go wrong with
again,
King's Row.
I feel like there is no other hybrid map.
Yeah, and there you go. Oh yes, we are gonna get a substitution. So it's Mercy coming on in instead of Cocombear, and exactly the map that she dominated with the Farah. Well, this is the saving grace potentially here for Uber server, as we are gonna get confirmation for map number 2. So the biggest thing about Uber server right now is they are trying to figure things out in terms of that roster. And from that first map, well, I did like what I saw, and I feel like they're gonna be looking good into the future.
Definitely, Mercy was one to look out for. Definitely an MVP of Uber server during their last match, on her dominating on her Pharah. And as you mentioned, this is the map that she really came out and just managed to be like their star player. So I think we're gonna see the tides turn possibly for Uber server. We're gonna see if the solidarity of UwUwatch is gonna come through the powerhouse that is Miss Mercy.
Yeah, indeed, indubitably. You know, you can put up those big words, but the biggest thing right now is in terms of SR. Honestly, Mercy is basically their hard carry on that DPS line. So I'd love to see her more and more in that regard, especially on that Farah. She's just able to really hail down those rockets over and over again, find those angles. And for Uber server, well, they are willing to really sacrifice their lives for the Uber god herself, Mercy, and they really find a way to support her and her endeavors. Got the Mercy play, you can see a little bit of Anana as well, and overall, King's Row might really be the test for UwUwatch, because this has to be the stomping grounds for Uber server. This is something they're very comfortable with a Ryan Zarya tank line that is very comfortable to play with the Brawl, to play aggressive, as we've seen in the stats before. Mercy on that, well, on that Farah, just looking pretty regal, that's for sure, dominating those guys. And behind that, a very steadforward and steadfast support line to boots. But for UwUwatch, well, they are gonna be basically put to the test, because if they are gonna be playing that dive, it's gonna be very tight on King's Row. And honestly, this is a really good map pick here for Uber server.
That's right. And that's, I feel like I have not seen any other hybrid map other than
No,
King's Row for
no,
like
we
the
have
past
we
2 weeks.
we
I
have
haven't.
gotten. Yesterday we got something different. We got Hollywood yesterday. You know, we got
Wow,
Hollywood.
I haven't seen Hollywood in ages.
You can check the VOD. You can check the
At
VOD
least
in that.
not when I come on.
We've seen Hollywood, we've seen Iconwall, I believe. Those are the maps that we have seen picked in hybrid. But really, when you get to pick whatever you want, well, why not go with the classics? And an absolute classic has to be that King's Row, because everyone loves King's Row, everyone loves to play in King's Row, and everyone likes to see King's Row to begin. It is a very comfortable map for many people. Basically, your Dust Bowls or your D-Dust 2s or whatever of Overwatch, exactly what you can expect to be the standard of this game to begin with. And well, King's Row has been one of my favorite maps. It has been voted as the most popular map, and you can't really go wrong with a map pick like this. But how about you? If you weren't allowed to pick King's Row, what other hybrid map would you pick, Miss Mika?
Okay, I'm not sure if I am alone in actually liking Numbani, but I do. I do enjoy Numbani a lot, more so than Hollywood. But I mean, like,
Numbani.
who am
Patsu.
I to say this about Kings Row? Because I would
Patsui.
probably pick Kings Row too.
Numbani. Well, Numbani is an interesting map. It does basically make you want to play the dive. It's especially on that first point. But the biggest deal about Numbani is just how snowbally it can be, especially from second to third point. The museum is a very long walk to the streets of Numbani, and it is pretty ridiculous. But hey, it seems like our teams are ready to go. Let's get into map number 2, and we are going into the dark nights of King's Row. It's a fine evening here, and now map number 2 out of 4, and I can't wait to see what's in store for us into this map, because King's Row, always a pleasure to see, always a fun map to be on, and everyone knows how to play King's Row, so let's get into the action.
Initiating match.
King's Row also is quite friendly towards that Widow, especially on that first point wherein you could use her to distract the defending team. Do you think we're going to see any snipers coming out in this match?
Well, potentially. We'll be seeing if Inbox can really whip out that hit scan. That's gonna be the real question here. Wouldn't be surprised if Double Sniper does show on up into the begin with. And let's just check real quick if our specs are all good to go. Yes, they are. Everyone is on the proper team. And oh, is this really gonna be it for UwUwatch? Are they actually gonna be playing the breaking ball here in King's Row? It does have a little bit of value played correctly, but as we said before, it's a very, very tight map. And if you don't know how to play the ball on King's Row specifically, you're gonna have a tough time hitting those walls. But on the other side, Uber server playing a very, very steady composition. Oh no, it's not a May, it's a Reaper and a McCree rather, with a Lucia Moira and a Reinhardt and a Zarya. Pretty stable comp, I like it, and it is a well-balanced roster to boot here for the defensive side.
That's right, and meantime on the red hand side we have, oh, there we go, Invox switching over to the Widow, possibly hoping to get a few frags right on the first point.
Widow show onto the high ground. Gonna get topped up here by two Happy Ball as well. Mercy and Anana. And yes, UwUwatch is gonna be staying on to the Wrecking Ball as well as that Diva comp. So for UwUwatch, all he needs to do is infiltrate and now look for the isolate. But look at that, Santa Pops as well as Chico pretty well together. And Uber server able to hold on to the side. I like this here. Pile Driver double connect onto 5. And even though they're playing close, that is gonna give a lot of ult charge to UwUwatch. He's already at 36% with one quick ability.
Mercy here, taking down the Diva already, taking down Diva's mech rather, but we're seeing Invox over here just getting a difficulty getting the right sideline over there. I guess it's probably because of Santa Pops' shield. He's really, really defending his team, and because Uba's server are playing really, really close, I'm not sure if the Widow pick is going to be really smart right now.
But as you say that, Inbox is able to get 2 picks in a row. Headshot after headshot onto big targets. And that is a little bit of an issue for Uber server. They overextend past the lines of Santa Pops. And if they are going to be playing a whole close formation, they need to play away from those Widow sidelines. They can't be going against into the front line. It can't be going out in the open. You have to go for the hotel instead in a situation like this. And Inbox saying, thank you very much. I'm going to be taking those kills. 2 headshots there. Enough for UwUwatch to open up a path to take that first point.
And there you go. Invox seems to have found his groove over there.
On the Kree, but here comes the Missile set on up by Noariusu. Icebig tried to dash on out. Charlotte, interesting enough, gonna be the Nano Boost target here. And UwUwatch looking to reinforce that front line, but I'd love to see it onto the McCree instead. Not many real big the targets here for Elixirine, honestly. He's going for the top instead. Here comes Kadena, the Deadeye in the side. And Chico with the grab the surge to boot as well. Carndo will go down. And for Uber server, this is going to be a pretty steadfast front line. They have their Reinhardt, they have that Zarya all the way into the front. But they still need to deal with Noryusu because he's pooping everyone to allow Inbox to get those shots on.
That's right. That's what's so pesky about dealing with this Wrecking Ball. He's really speedy. He just gets in, gets out, and you really need a stunner. You really need a May or that McCree to stun the ball and just manage to keep him still for like a few seconds.
Just you have to put a shutdown onto that hamster, and he's just so pesky. So Chico gets to the Roadhog already. A pretty solid pick to really find out those targets. Mercy though with a tag onto 2. This is the Kree right now, looking to frag out, and it is gonna be Uber server pushing with that sand barrier, going for the shatter as well, looking to really secure this fight already, but they still need to take care of those stragglers because Charlotte taking care of one. 2 Happy Ball now in the middle. This Mercy might get caught out in the open, and Chico really looking for the punish play. Ice to Victor, buy grenade and on up, and Uber server has to be careful because look at that, Charlotte with a jump, getting the pick off, gets the primaries in time. And UwUwatch making an opening for themselves, really testing those lines.
Making good time too. They have more than 3 minutes left and they are already past the second point. Wonderful work over here from UwUwatch.
They get captured, 4:45 right now, and UwUwatch looking a lot better. The aggressive dive suiting them just a little more over the Diva in a situation like this. And Uber server gonna be swapping things over to a pretty awkward Roadhog as well as Sigma composition. Well, the big thing about this is they're gonna have a lot of stunts. They now have Mercy on the flashbang duty. You have Santa Claus with the creation. You got Chico with the hook. And what else can you really do against Inoryusu by this point if you're gonna have this much CC? I feel like the best thing right now has to be Mercy going for that Sombra, but with the mines in behind, that is just gonna be too much damage being done in order to take care of Mercy, who literally rolls into that one. Chico finally with the shutdown, but the payload being pushed. UwUwatch having to rely on this Roadhog yet again. Here goes iStupid right now onto the right-hand side, looking for a dash on in. They need to get the touch at point 07. iStupid cannot afford to go for the Swift Strike away, because that is the point being taken immediately by UwUwatch.
Oh man, iStupid getting those 2 frags there, but the point was left wide open for them to just cap it. And wow, amazing time. Just about 4 minutes left.
No reduction whatsoever. It's like, okay, there you go. And for UwUwatch, it's that Wrecking Ball pick. Such a big way to really be the biggest pest of them all. I cannot say anything else about Inoriusu besides that his ball is so good at really disrupting many opponents. I feel like UwUwatch and Wamanagi are the only 2 teams that really look to stifle the opposition with the Wrecking Ball, and it is working a lot of wonders, because like a Symmetra pick, like a Pharah Echo pick, like those kind of picks, if you don't have any way to shut them down, you are just gonna get overrun in many different scenarios. And that was the scenario right there. UwUwatch able to really play the offensive game as strong as they could be because of that disruption, and now on the defense they are going to be picking a little more stability with the Ryan Zarya instead. But kudos there to UwUwatch. They are going to be playing afar as well, the first time we see it actually whipped out in this series. Well, UwUwatch going to be taking the skies as Mercy is still on that McCree duty. Sacred going to be playing that break instead, and they're like, we need more stuns, guys, so we need some way to really put a stop to that hamster rolling around. But to their surprise, as soon as the gates open, there is no Wrecking Ball. It's the Ryan Zarya waiting for them on the opposite end.
That's right. Seems like they're preparing their lineup for a Wrecking Ball with the stun and the Reaper dealing enough damage, but probably gonna do the same for they still have that opportunity to deal as much damage to their tank line. It's looking like a tank line mirror match right here with the Ryan Zarya on both sides.
The server trying to get the push. We got the McCree onto the right. And the Ryan Zarya versus Ryan Zarya ball, always an absolute pleasure to see. But hey, here comes the inbox right now. Elixir ain't able to get the buy grenade instead. Karna a little too focused. Needs to turn around. Will get shut down instead by the Pharah. But that is going to be Sacred getting the kill with the little help from iStupid, who gets that final blow. Pretty good shield bash there to shut down the Fariha. But beyond all of that, all UwUwatch can really do is look for picks with this Reaper. That's not going to happen anytime soon.
Oh, the first clash didn't exactly pan out, I guess, on how Ube planned it to be. It looks like, Arisa really won that Ryan battle on the first point. It's unfortunate that Santa Pops got stunned, allowing Arisa just to take him down.
That is going to be the show there for that first clash. 1 minute already elapsing. UwUwatch trying to build up that ultimate economy. But speaking of ultimates, well, UwUwatch has the barrage available, and you can always rely on the Pharah to do a lot of damage with that barrage if given the proper space and time. Here we go with the rain already. Santapas will go down. Mercy though with the counter kill. And even though that is going to be a 1-for-1 trade, that's an advantage here for the defending side, because without that main tank in front, it's very difficult, of course, for Mercy to get those hits in the first place with the shield in front of her. But that is Kadena now going down. We got Karna ready with the nano boost, and potentially UwUwatch, this is going to be another push that will lead to a nano boost play.
That's right. And even though they lost their tank, it seems like they were prepared for it. I mean, the team just really came together, and now we're gonna see UwUwatch over here trying to change up the angle a little bit, coming in from the back line.
iStupid go onto the front, onto that high ground. Mercy with a big dead eye does get to, but Kaneda with the counter kill. Highly unfortunate for Karna, doesn't get the sleep dart in time. Chica right now staying alive. Beautiful save there from Santa Pops, and the tank line really trying to protect one another, but in the end it's just not enough there for UwUwatch, because Charlotte and Norius is standing tall, loud and proud. UwUwatch able to defend one more time.
That's right. I mean, Charlotte Zarya was just there ready to protect Risu at that moment. He was really anticipating that charge in there. He was really anticipating that Santa Pops was going to go for him, going to charge, going for that kill, but he was ready with his bubble.
I know Ryusu gonna be staying on the same front yet again. And it really goes to show a little bit of the difference between UwUwatch and UwUwatch's tank roles. We do see UwUwatch playing a lot more defensive. Charlotte really saving those bubbles to a good degree. On Chico's end, he's like, okay, give me energy, guys. Give me 100 energy so I can destroy anyone and everyone. And it works wonders for them sometimes, because look at that, Chico eviscerating Condena with the big beam. Mercy now flying on in. And we do see the Pharah versus Pharah battle here on King. So good direct hit. Gonna get down onto Inbox. That's UwUwatch with the team kill after they swap over to the Pharah and Chico, making an opening yet again for the attacking side.
Oh, with Mercy back on the Nafara, it's looking like it's clear skies over here for Ube's server. I guess this comfort pick of Mercy just really puts her in the spotlight, and she really dominates the skies, as you said earlier. It was a Mercy and Chico show there a while ago.
But look at this, immediately swaps back to the McCree as we do have UwUwatch immediately swapping to 2-hit scan. That's a lot of respect, honestly. It's a lot of respect on that Pharah pick, so it really goes to show that both sides have done their homework in this regard. But well, for Ube's server right now, they do have to be wary because Invox is on that high ground, and they need to find a way to really shut that down. Ice2Big is trying to go for the TP play with a Shadow Step, but Dana keeping on with the pressure, and it seems like UwUwatch forgetting that they don't need to get that first point anymore. It's gone already. They're playing with the payload instead, really to hold that arcway, and they should be playing back in behind instead of the front, where they can get overrun by spawn advantage.
That's right. It's a little risky. I mean, extending that far out, especially since their tanks are, they really, rely on this brawl composition so much. But I guess it's working out wonderfully for UwUwatch.
Charlotte as well as Noriyusu with the grab with the shatter, big shutdown into the front line, and that is enough for this fight to really be one-sided yet again. What a combination between our front lines, but hey, we still have Ube's server ready to go with 4 ults into this one. So for UwUwatch, it's all about that time bank being whittled down. Already I feel that they do have the advantage of the time bank as soon as that point gets captured on the second part. It still isn't going to be enough to really match what UwUwatch has, so for UwUwatch, it is all about the train instead of really trying to shut them down. And if they do stop the Ube's server squad in their tracks, well, that is going to be a good plus there. But there we have a big grab to surge there from Chico, but it's so unfortunate because Ube's server is unable to follow up. Ice2Big was not in position for that whatsoever, and even with Chico with a very impressive grab to surge, the Reaper not in position to get that last blossom in time.
Oh, and Ice2Big just getting eliminated as he was trying to teleport out there, denied by Inorisu.
Well, Ube's server now gonna be looking to make things work with the Genji. Ice2Big, and they're swapping over to the Blade Wielder, but a big part here has to be the fact that Ice2Big only has a minute left to actually get that blade on. Santapops though with the shatter as Inori does the same. Innova does get the charge on. Here comes the guy to surge right now from Charlotte, and they are gonna try to play off against a Nano Reinhardt, but for UwUwatch, they are holding line steadfast. Inbox in behind, dropping on down, gets the Soldier 76 tactical visor. Mercy right now with a sliver of HP, both sides missing their shots, but in the end, it is going to be the automatic rifle having the extra fire rates. UwUwatch looking to be pretty stellar here on the second map, and it really has been the Invox show running on around with 9.4k damage on that Soldier 76, but Inorisu all the way up top, looking really strong with the mines, with the hammer swings, and Ube's server going for one last flank.
Right, and it's not looking good for Ube's server right now. UwUwatch is looking really strong. Just a lot more team plays, and Ube's server just seems like they just can't get the groove right now.
1-for-1 trade though, and it's time for Mercy to make things happen yet again. The McCree getting the push on, looking to get all the way to the other side. Overtime not ticking on down, trying to make things work. Here comes the charge away though from Noriyusu. Chico gonna be there as well. Santapops gonna be an absolute hero, and eventually gets the clock on the Elixirine. Close quarter combat working out in favor of the Blue Reinhardts, and Ube's server looking to try and make things happen. Now for Noriyusu though, pretty low already. Here comes the push from the Ube's server squadron. They're looking to make it happen.
I just love these clutch plays. As soon as you hear the overtime music kick in, everybody just suddenly, like, turns on this killer instinct, this great kind of like gameplay sense and all.
The surge though into play. Nano boost, big nade there from Elixirine, counter nano boost as well, and it's a brawl for UwUwatch that is working out in their favor. Diana plays, making things happen, but this is the Mercy show yet again. Now gets Kudena, what a shot! Does get the cake out there, grabbing the surge to make sure everything is fine and dandy, and this is really the Ube's server way. Let Mercy and Chico carry the team, and that is just gonna be enough for the McCree to have the hottest hand of them all. 17 kills here for Ube's server's Mercy, 11 kills for Chico. Really, how many percent is that? 28 out of 33. That's a lot of damage and a lot of kills going in favor of just these two people.
That's right. And you see them really just there in the front lines. They're like, okay, we're going to be the ones to push this payload. We're going to be the ones to carry this out because there is no hiding it. The stats do not lie. It is really the Chico and Mercy show.
Oh, big shatter though, in nowhere use, puts everyone to the floor. There we go with the charge. And UwUwatch is like, hi, let me stun you, please. Thank you very much. And Uba server's like, of course, have a nice day. Here you go. We'll just lie down on the floor. What a stun there from Inoura Yusu. UwUwatch right now. Only one fight left to hold this line.
Right now, you see the tank lineup from UwUwatch with 19 kills, 18 kills from Inoris, 19 kills from Charlotte. They are doing as much more, the most damage out of their team. They're doing the most kills, I mean.
Keep an eye out on Ice Too Big. That is going to be a pretty big deal here if the Blade can actually get some value. Unfortunately for Sacred, he is going to be pretty low already. He's trying to make sure that he can go for the beat, and does go for the beat Blade into this one. Ice Too Big though still holding on to the Blade. They're waiting things out, and that's a little dangerous because you only have a sliver of HP instead at the tail end of the sound barrier. UwUwatch right now punishing instead with the tactical visor with the dead eye, and Mercy onto that Tracer. Grabbing the Surge is avoided, but it seems like the Tracer is out of time, and it's UwUwatch with double the kills. That tank line doing a lot of work, and they will take the 2-0 lead in the series.
That's right. It was, I feel like it wasn't. Upa Server just didn't have enough synergy here in Kingsville throughout the whole map. There were some golden moments, of course, from Chico and Mercy, but I feel like team-wise, they just really weren't gelling at any one point.
I completely agree. It really is just more of a solo carry instinct here for Uba Server, while on the other side for UwUwatch, it really is a team effort. And I'm glad that for UwUwatch, they are really meshing as a team very, very well, especially with the addition of Ryusu to that roster. For Uba Server though, you have to really compliment, you really have to talk about how great Mercy as well as Chico are playing on that end, which is honestly a double-edged sword for them, because you know they're gonna play great, so you know that you really have to focus fire on them in the first place. And for UwUwatch, they're doing exactly that, really getting the punish onto the off-tank and the DPS, and that isn't just enough to tear apart Uba Server.
That's right. And if I can remember the stats of the tank line over there, they had the most eliminations and they also had the most damage. What an amazing duo here for Charlotte and Inu Arisu. They were just really dealing it out in the front lines and shutting everything down from Uba Server, even with Mercy and Chico performing as well as they did.
I feel like for Ube, it needs to be a step up for everyone else if they do want to get a map, or at least get the match in the first place. You know, like it's just you can't rely on Mercy to do everything, and she is basically doing everything by that point in King's Row. I feel like sure if she wasn't in the roster, the kills would be more segregated. But having that urgency, having that potency is very, very essential. You need to get those kills quick, and Mercy is the one doing that. That second points capture was really just her getting some clicks in time to really save the day. And well, on that payload, really getting the push, giving the side of Uba Server a chance yet again to try and finish up the map. But in the end, when the shatter comes through, everyone's to the floor. It's just not going to be enough. And the beat blade, way too late. You gotta go for the blade immediately as soon as you hear the beat, or as the beat is being cast, because you need that burst of HP to stay alive instead when you're at the 200, 300 HP range instead. And it's a little bit of a waste there for Uba Server, but hey, it is what it is sometimes. So we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. We will have our halftime break. We'll allow Uba Server as well as UwUwatch to just figure things out along the way, and we'll stay on here in the New Wave Invitationals. This is your first match of the night, and keep at it because we will have Washed Up Homies versus Overbex after this match. So stay tuned, stick around. This is the New Wave Invitationals. So hello guys and welcome back and welcome to our halftime reports. No courtside reporter because Mika's down below already, but instead we're gonna be talking to Inoriusa of UwUwatch. So hi Inoriusa, how you doing tonight?
I'm pretty really nervous. I don't know
Ooh,
why.
don't be, you're doing
Fine.
great. And exactly that, you're doing absolutely fantastic in this matchup against Ubi's server. And the first thing to note is, hey, you're finally playing that Wrecking Ball to a big degree, and why is that so?
Um, I I think I'm more comfortable with playing Wrecking Ball now because in my first few matches, I feel like I can do Ryan better than Ball, and I really didn't think Ball was an opportunity, except for the last game with Wash Up Homies where I played Ball, and I thought that hey, I can do well with him, so why not I play Ball more?
Yeah, you do absolutely great on him. And honestly, with you on that ball and Charlotte being very flexible on the Winston or the Diva, you guys play a very solid ball dive composition, and I feel like that really works well for UwUwatch and your roster. And speaking of roster, how did you actually get entangled with the UwUwatch team? If I remember correctly, that this is more or less the Invox gaming stack, and you were brought in more or less as a filler. And, but you're meshing really well with them. You're doing such a great job. So is that how the story goes, or what's it all about?
It's basically like that. Of I was told that one team was finding a main tank, and that was Invox's group. So I wanted to join New Wave. So I accepted the invitation, and over time we got more and more close, and I got more comfortable with my team members, and here we are today. Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm really glad. I'm glad we were able to
Aw.
extend that invitation to you. I was looking at people on the bug sheet. I was like, who doesn't have a team for New Wave? And I know it's from the PH. I was like, oh yeah, Inorisu might actually fit well into this. I tossed your name over to either Yuki or Yumi or whatever. And I'm just like, let's just ask, make them talk to each other. And there you go. When you put two Lego pieces together, they fit somehow. And congratulations. I'm glad you guys are doing great. But so far in this match, you guys are up 2-0. And what do you really think is like a big component of that success in this matchup? Because this is a really close matchup, honestly. On Nepal, it really came down to the wire. And on King's Row, even though you guys had a very good attack, there were a lot of clutch plays there from Ubi's server when you guys were defending instead.
I really feel like our teamwork is the main component of our success. We just really work so well together, and our comms are really good.
Yeah, that's pretty admirable. When you have really clear comms and really solid setups, then you guys are gonna be able to get a lot of success into the future. Now, I do have one more question. Again, no spoilers and all the like. What's the game plan now for these last two maps? This is the second half of your match, and you guys are up to 0. How are you guys gonna be expecting to close this out on an escort map, or how are you guys gonna be playing into the assault map as well?
Of course, we're going to be more cooperative with one each other to win this matchup.
I like this guy. He's very simple. There's no antics. There's no all these long-winded stories. It's like question answer. So how about you, Mika? Before we send Mr. Inoa Ryusu off, do you have any questions for Inoa?
No further questions, Your Honor. Let's send Risa over to the third map.
Yeah, maybe just before that though, Inoa Ryusu, do you have anyone you want to shout at before we toss you back into the Watch channel?
First, I would like to shout out my teammates, of course. I'm really having fun with my teammates so far. Also, my friends, Aldron and my girlfriend, Shireen.
Oh, there you go. Clean
Aw.
shot outs as well. That's really sweet. So thank you, Nora Yusuf, for a very plain and lovely interview. I love it. We get so much different flavor. Sometimes you just want to have something very easy to digest. There you go, guys. If you ever gotta transcribe what Inoa said, it's so simple. Here's the question. Here's the answer. Period. And that is pretty much so. So thanks, Inoa. I'll send you back over now to Watch. There you go. He is back, and we are gonna get our third map in just a bit, Mika. But before we do that, let's talk about the DPS line instead. Well, for Uba's server, we're not gonna have Mercy stats because she wasn't part of that starting roster. But maybe in the future, we're gonna be able to look into that one. But Ice Tubing and Cucumber, a little less on the potency side. It's Ice Tubing really getting the damage done with 8.8k average damage. Cucumber, as we've seen, more of a DPSy support. Support cosplaying as a DPS in a sense, especially when Columber does play that Sombra. I've seen the Sombra really get some value, get those EMPs on at proper times and at proper places, but not really on the more lethal side. But the other side of the coin, UwUwatch, well, Invox and Kadena, take it away. You already know what the story is up with them.
Well, Invox and Codina, they have about 18 average eliminations and 22 respectively. And as for their damage, they have about 7,000 each, between 7,000 to 8,000. So you're absolutely right. They're stats-wise, they're looking like they're an even matchup. I mean, they balance each other out really, really well. So in terms of the damage dealing, it looks like it really boils down to what the circumstances are, what the situation is with the team for these guys to really, really deliver.
Yeah, and I can really see that Kadena and Vox are really a force to be reckoned with. They have pretty similar damage to begin with. Invox does have a little bit of a higher note sometimes in terms of eliminations, but on average, it really is Kadena the one you can see getting the frags on the board. But hey, it seems like we are gonna get our third map, Mika, and it will be rather. Sorry about that. It will be Havana, because I'm very surprised to see Havana actually get picked in the New Wave Invitationals, and as escort map that is pretty bright, has many of those open lines. It will suit Uba's server and their comfort pits. The Pharah gonna be pretty good, the McCree gonna be pretty good. I'd love to see a little bit of Widowmaker as well from time to time, and on the inside, the Reaper can do a lot of things done. And at the same time, on Havana, there are ways to stop the Wrecking Ball. So I really feel like Uba's server is thinking about these map picks, and they are able to capitalize on them to a degree, but they need to do a little better on the team side.
That's right. I feel like this is one of those maps wherein, you're really challenged to use every single aspect in the map, from the cars that are lying out on the side to each of these pillars that are scattered on the side of the road. I mean, for you to win this map effectively, just because, it can really favor one side so much, just because I'm not a fan of this map, but it can really favor one side so much. And, all three of those points are so different. You have to attack them in such different ways. I mean, the first point is like really open. You have the second point, which is so CQC, and then you have the third point, which is even more open than the first. So, yeah, really excited to see what these two teams have up their sleeves.
It's a castle siege, that's for sure, especially on that third point. It's an old fort right there from the Spanish East era, but hey, it's time to get into the action. Havana gonna be waiting on us. It's gonna be a blast from the past sometimes, especially when you move into Cuba. But hey, it's a pretty bright map. It's pretty enjoyable as well. And grabbing rocks, just enjoy the sights and the sounds here in the island nation. Let's move on into map number 3. It's time to see what's gonna unfold between Uba server as well as UwUwatch. It's Uba server on the defense, UwUwatch on the attack, and let's get into the map and the action.
So as Ino Risu just mentioned, well, we're just gonna see possibly cleaner plays from UwUwatch over here. So I guess we're gonna see them run their dive again, since they're pretty comfortable with that. And we're gonna see Uba server hopefully make a stand over here in Havana.
That might be it, and Uba server needs to take this one if they still want to get match points. UwUwatch in the meantime at match point, they still have to get this map though, and they still have to play that map number 4 if ever. For UwUwatch, is this really gonna be the composition of choice? Will they go for the pirate ship to start things off, or with the dive composition? You don't usually play the Bastion with a dive. That's very dangerous, because your Bastion is just gonna be out in the open. And I like this here from Uba's server. Calm Bear is on the Hanzo, Mercy is on that McCree, Ryan Zarya yet again, but interesting formation here for Uba server. They're hiding behind the pink car for some reason. And will this be a ninja charge? If you look at the car, Mika, you can see the Reinhardt peeking. It's not a good disguise. It's not a good disguise whatsoever.
Ryan is just, awkwardly hiding. It's like trying to hide a pig behind a thin coconut tree or something.
That's true, that's true. It's a little too stout, and without the shield, Chico gonna get clocked immediately by Invox. 20% already to that infra site. Good start here for UwUwatch, honestly. And do they really not see Santa Pops? Like, okay. Oh my god. I honestly thought no one saw Santa Pops there, but the distraction works, so as Mercy picks off Charlotte on the inside. Now, it is going to be time for the McCrees to try and go for a face-off. Kadena having to get run on away. Invox right now staying on the right. Mercy really homing into that one, but very difficult and very dangerous to peek against a Widowmaker. Mercy able to stay alive, though, with a little help from the Hanzo instead.
Nina Reese just here creating chaos in the backline, creating chaos everywhere actually, eliminating Mercy. Charlotte and Nina Reese eliminating Mercy over there. That's gonna be huge because as we know, Mercy is the hard carry on the Ubi server.
And look at that, Inouyusu is already ready with the mines. Absolutely ridiculous stuff from this Wrecking Ball. Cockenberg gonna swap this over to the Sombra instead. And last time we saw a Sombra on Nepal's run, it did help them out in a lot of degrees, allowing them to take that round. But this time they need to be a little more careful because Invox is just fragging out with the Widowmaker. Space created with the dive. UwUwatch enjoying their hit scan prowess from the other side of the map. And well, the Widow and the McCree getting the damage done. This is UwUwatch securing this first point.
Yeah, I'm not really comfortable with this support lineup over here from Ubi server. They possibly need to add in a bit more of the Ana possibly. I just don't think the Lucio and the Moira is the right pick for, you know, trying to hold this defense line, especially against Inouyusu and Charlotte who are just diving in there.
Yeah, it's a little difficult. They don't have that CC. You can't play the Brig instead. You can play the Ana as you mentioned. But at the very least, for Ubi server, if they do play clustered, if they do play close together, they are going to be having a good show at it with the sustain. But the problem there is they're playing the Sombra and the McCree. Now, when you Lucio Moira, when you want to play CQC like that, you want to be playing something like the Reaper, something like the Mate to really shut down the opponent, something like the Doomfist. And it's just so counterintuitive. UwUwatch is literally opening up this whole pool inside to such a big degree. And Ubi server is just witnesses to the payload being pushed all the way already to that second point.
Oh, Cockenbear over there distracting Inouyusu for just a bit as he was in position to possibly cause more mayhem on the Ubi server side.
A sliver of HP actually on Inoa. Big shatter there from Santa Pops as well. And now it's time for Ubi server to let loose the juice and go for the Gravity Surge at the same time. Sacred Dome will fall to the hand of Cadena. Charlotte being imposing yet again. Santa Pops right now with the shield play one more time. And the Reinhardt versus the world looking to survive. Finally will fall. Good turnabout play though from UwUwatch. They keep the sustain. They keep people alive. And that is enough for the second point to be taken. As we said before, it's just not working here for Ubi server with the McCree and Sombra. Sure, you can go for the push, but you want to have that Sombra skulking around, and you do want to do something else with your support line here. Ubi server going to be trying to figure things out as you move on into the third point already.
That's right, even though Santa Pops got that huge shatter down, they weren't able to capitalize on it, and they weren't able to take down Inouyusu, who was just creating so much space, was just causing so much chaos within the Ubi server lineup. They don't know where to focus. Oh, but Chico over here hooking Inouyusu, but he just scurries on about. No problem, no big deal.
I like this though from Ubi server. They go for the hold up instead. Gonna be a good way to potentially shut down that Wrecking Ball. But they need to get the catch with the CC. They need to get the catch with the hold to begin with before anything else can really happen. Mines though set on up. Good Pod Driver is there as well. Here comes Cadena though, charging up that Deadeye. But good block there from Santa Pops at the tail end. 2 frags though on the board. UwUwatch is just overrunning Ubi server on their attack. And I feel like for Ubi server, they just need to do the same thing. If they can't defend well, they have to have a similar attack. They have to have a similar way to really shut down the opposition, as Cockenberg gonna fall on down for some reason. Highly unfortunate here for Ubi server, but at least they still have Santa Pops to try and contest.
That's right, and I am just enjoying watching Inouyusu over here. I mean, even sometimes he's just the only one on the point, but he's still able to hold his own just because this Wrecking Ball, the mobility as well as the shields is just, you know, an amazing tool to use for UwUwatch.
Cockenberg with the EMP, Mercy gets 3! One EMP Deadeye there from Ubi server. Yet again, every single time Ubi server gets that EMP, they are able to capitalize on it. But the issue here is the speed of what they get it on. Cockenberg needs to do this a lot faster, needs to do this a lot more for Ubi server to really rise up from the ashes, because Mercy is known to be able to capitalize on it, but really it has to be those EMPs more online by the every minute mark. For now, at least they have a little bit of reprieve. They will have the supercharger very soon, but they need to be wary. United Boost Infrasights as well. Pretty much all the ultimates going to be coming online here for UwUwatch very soon.
That's right, looking at a full house over here for UwUwatch. Really looking good for them as they enter into the last few meters of this third point.
Huge sleep dart though from Sacred, catching out Charlotte, but still not enough. Cadena catching out Cockenberg instead. Here comes the mines right now onto the castle grounds, and everyone just being torn apart. Santa Pops with the supercharger. It's not going to be enough. Good hide there from the Orisa, but it's way too late to sustain. And UwUwatch this time finishes up the map, not with the most imposing time bank, but that is pretty scary still. 2:28 on the clock. UwUwatch still in control when they're on the attack, and well, they do pick the attack first every single time. Might be their comfort in a map like this.
Yeah, amazing work from Charlotte and Arisu, really just diving in there, knowing when to back each other up and knowing when to really like just charge in there, cause as much chaos as possible, jump right out because both tags that they pick have that much mobility. It's really fun to watch, but I'm sure just mayhem for Uber server to deal with.
Mayhem really is the key here for UwUwatch, and no Reisu on that ball is Mayhem personified, and he is doing such a good job of really shutting every single little bit down. But hey, Uber server right now, they are going to be trying to get things done. We are going to see a potential echo here for Uber server. I like this pick. It is going to be very, very different in the Uber server side, and it might be a good way to really shut down Inorayusu because as soon as he gets onto that half HP mark, if the Echo can get the tracking on with the focusing beam, it can get a really, really quick pick, but the shields are such a big bait as well, so it really is going to be all about abilities being baited on both sides. Speaking of the bait though, you got the carrot, the Inorayusu Wrecking Ball, and you got the stick that is Charlotte on that Orisa. Everyone else going to be anchoring by the Orisa to begin with, and well, UwUwatch going to be defending by this corner.
That's right, and it looks like Cockenbear is possibly going to duplicate one of the tanks to, maybe add in a little bit more CCs, a little bit more crowd control, possibly duplicating either Risa too to maybe cause more mayhem of zone.
I'd love to see him get actually those mines, but hey, when you got Ryusu, he will run you over, and Mercy on that Widowmaker is just a pedestrian not looking both ways before she leaves. But I do see some swaps. Cockenbear going to be going to the Genji instead. Mercy onto the Tracer. Good hook now from Chico. Uba server trying to really get things done here onto the side. Cockenbear with a chase down. Kadena will fall down, but this is still all UwUwatch. They're getting frags here and there, and they are just able to really stabilize onto the corner. It has to be the Chico show yet again on this Roadhog. Good hook right now. Inbox will fall. What a reach there from the Roadhog.
That's right. It looks like their Ube server is struggling over here just to get around that corner. In the meantime, even though Ube server gets some frags on the line, UwUwatch is just still standing strong, just steadfast, and just really holding down this point as much as they can.
Now the interesting part here for Uber server is they're playing a very, very different composition. They're playing the Roadhog as well as the D.Va. Usually you don't see this comp together in any real shape or form, but it is what it is that Uber server trying to make things work with a little more comfort to begin with. Santa Pops on his old school D.Va. Chico on the Roadhog gets a hook again, takes care of Inbox, and here comes the Whole Hog one more time, pushing the on the back. This is Uber server right now trying to play a pseudo 3 DPS lineup, but this Roadhog needs to get on the way. Kodina now going for the chase down, has the blossom already, can't let it rip, and it's gonna be a ballet recital to remember, a dance of that era now from UwUwatch, and they will be able to hold yet again on this first point.
Oh, that was just an awkward angle over there for Chico. That's not where you want to be when you have a whole hog. He was all the way in the back line and just wasn't able to capitalize on that.
But hey, here comes Uber server. D.Va and Roadhog trying to get the push on. Cockenbear gonna be close to that blade. Sacred right now, coming close to the Nanda boost as well. But the biggest issue right now for Uber server has to be a steep of let get their ultimates. The EMP a while ago, a little too late in many regards, and right now the blade is taking way too long. So for Uber server, if they don't execute with the Nano blade in the next fight, I don't think they're gonna have time to actually get this point.
I agree. This seems like Nanoblade is their win condition. And wow, okay, it's raining outside. That's possibly why I was having some problems earlier. Anyway, it's looking like that. Yes, at least on my end. Anyway, it's looking like the Nanoblade is that win condition for them, but them swapping out, I guess they just crossed that one out.
Yeah, Nano McCree might be the cards here. Cockenbear onto the Echo, but the Echo also takes a while to get that ultimate, so Uber server can't really decide what they want to do. Cockenbear to the front line, you can't play the Echo into the Vanguard, that's for sure. You need to be flying, you need to be hiding, it's like a Tracer in the sky. But Santa Fast right now with the self-destruct, here comes the bomb, does get one, and I like the punish here from Uber server. If they realize that Inorius is playing that ball, all they need to do is shatter down the main tap with the shield, and they will have a clear skyline to get the bomb on. They take care of a pick already. Here comes Uber server. Chico now with the hook, taking care of Charlotte, and goodbye to that Orisa. Even with the fortify, it's not enough. Uber server making an opening here. Contest right now from the right-hand side though, but it's still the Chico show. This Roadhog right now getting everything done. Mercy with the flank yet again, not her than getting back on the board. And Uber server with their prime carries, getting things done, gets that first point.
looks like they finally found what they want to do with this lineup. They had a bit of, they struggled a little bit on that first point, switching in and out of a few lineups, but I guess they might stick with this one. I hope they do because time is running out for Uba server.
They have to make a decision, and even though they don't have a shield, they are gonna have a lot of guts in behind all of this. Now it's the Orisa show here for Charlotte still. Supercharger is available. Nano Boost actually on the Orisa, which is very interesting because you usually do that when you need to go for a last minute contest with something. Supercharger now set on up here by Charlotte, trying to get the push on, putting it onto the flank, putting it behind the corner. Very, very smart. But still, here comes Chico, here comes Cucumber. The side of Uber server trying to take control of the factory floor, and the Road Dog is the best way to do it.
Right, and with Ino Arisa down, of course, then the sights of Uba server are set on that payload, and they are not distracted any longer.
True. And this is now Uba server pushing with the Road Dog yet again. Poor Kodena trying to play the counter against the Road Dog, but the Reaper cannot sustain this time. UwUwatch keeping things up on the defensive end, but Mercy now fending off in the Waryusu. And here comes the adaptive surge, here comes the duplication from Cucumber. Turns into the Wrecking Ball, immediately gets the mines. And don't be afraid to use those, you'll get that so quickly as a duplicate to begin with. Uba server now on the payload, still last minute circumstance here from UwUwatch. Death Blossom though from Kadena in the backline. Cucumber will get caught. That was though on the Chico. Fire grenade absolutely huge. And Elixirine getting the toss at the right time. Chico cannot survive. It doesn't matter if you have that extra damage reduction from the Nano Boost because UwUwatch punishing with the Reaper pick instead.
Oh, I just feel like Cucumber wasn't able to utilize that duplication over there, just, you know, scattering the mines over at an awkward position. They, you know, it wasn't anywhere near the payload, it wasn't anywhere near what the fight was taking place.
Yeah, on the backside, could have at least used it onto the doorway to force out a slower rotation, but it is what it is. And now Uba server in a similar hold. Unless Chico or Mercy can clutch things out, they will not have a chance to get this third point. And speaking of the clutch, Inbox again gonna get shut down by Chico. If I remember correctly, almost all the frags just this round on Inbox's side had to be because of this Roadhog.
Oh man, and I gotta tell you, it is demoralizing to get shut down by a Roadhog, especially when you have that hook, you have your recall or your blinks ready, but it just doesn't work and he just one-shots you.
Just the hold into the scrap gun, way too potent in many regards. But I guess the best way to balance things out has to be the HP bars on Chico. Something's dropped though in the middle. Doesn't get much. Chico with another frag on the board. But Uba's server absolutely desperate in this endeavor. In order to make the space that is absolutely necessary. Cucumber right now, last stand situation. It's just not gonna happen. And UwUwatch finally takes the match points. Uba's server though still has a chance to get a map under their belt.
I just felt for Ubis over there. I think like they were really struggling. They couldn't make up their minds in that first point what exactly they wanted to do, and it just feels like they were just, you know, when Ino, Arisa, and Charlotte just really caused mayhem in there. They even caused mayhem on the decision making of Uba server. It just really wasn't fast enough. They couldn't capitalize on the time that was given to them. So, fortunately for UwUwatch, they were able to take Havana, and Uba server still has one more chance, as you said, as we head into Assault.
Yeah, we'll get one more map here now, ladies and gentlemen. But UwUwatch has already taken that match point. Whoa, seems like a storm is afoot indeed.
See, that was the thunder that was on my end just a few seconds ago.
Feel the lightning and the thunder. But you know what has been absolutely thunderous here has to be the performance of UwUwatch. We are going to be getting into map 4 as Uba server is going to be getting that pick. But overall there in Havana, Mika, what do you think is the biggest deal for the side of UwUwatch?
Oh, definitely the tank lineup. Ino Arisa was just really playing that Wrecking Ball so well, causing chaos. And the moment Uba server turn around and try to deal with him, that is when the rest of the team follow up. And it's quite beautiful and entertaining to watch, really. But yeah, I feel for Uba server. I mean, having been on the receiving end of the Wrecking Ball so many times, I mean, I know it's so annoying to deal with. I just feel like maybe they should have, capitalized on, some crowd controls or stunts and just dealt with, Risa so much faster. But as we mentioned, they just couldn't make up their minds fast enough.
True. It's just they can't really find a way to shut down Ryusu. And looking back into this match, it really has to be the trigger point here for Uba server. They need to find a way to take care of the Wrecking Ball before the Wrecking Ball taking care of them. And it really just goes to show Mercy and Code, their biggest weakness has to be the wrecking ball there. It has the chubbiest of all cheeks. It also has the biggest ball of them all. But when you go and get tough, and they are trying to get tougher, they really need to find a way to dodge all those mines here and there. Dodge this, dodge that, figure things out along the way. And as Volskaya Industries is gonna be our next map, it will be a true test here for both sides. Has Server learned enough from these past three maps to really get rid of the wrecking ball from their minds? And their minds. It's just way too much. It's just way too much here to Mika. Minds and minds, man. Minds and minds.
Yeah, mine's in your mind definitely. And it's looking like Sacred is going back to his original tank role here for Uba server. What do you think of people swapping roles in the middle of in the middle of a match like this?
Well, I feel like here for Uber server, they're gonna try things out to a more stable approach. Putting Chico on the bench means they're gonna be giving up a lot of that lethality for more on that defense, so it really will allow the side of Uber server's DPS and support line to truly shine in this regard. Can Mercy just basically solo carry the team, or can everyone else step up to the plate? She has been doing an absolutely great job overall, especially when she's on King's Row. I feel like when Mercy is on King's Row, she gets like home court advantage so much.
That's true. That's true. I feel that too. I mean, she was really the headliner for so many of those clutch plays on the side of Uba server on Kings Row. It's really a map that she dominates in.
And Havana wasn't too bad, but it was just more on Chico getting the flanks with the Roadhog. And I feel like here for Uber server, if they do want to make a playstyle like that work, they need to do a better job at securing and supporting the Roadhog, supporting the Zarya, supporting the McCree, supporting the Farah, and that if they can really base it off that, playing that Sombra might be a good way on the DPS line, playing the Symmetra as well might be something that allows them to play some TP shenanigans. This is food for thought, but for Uber server, if they can play to a similar level to their hard carries, well, they are going to be going above and beyond in this regard. On the other side, though, UwUwatch a lot more balance, and I feel like that's where these two teams differ. On paper, their numbers are the same, but on Uber server side, I believe they have such a high point and a low point. They have a roller coaster of a roster, and for UwUwatch, it's more of a straight line. That's pretty much it.
True, I definitely agree. And could it possibly be a communications problem too? I mean, Uwatch did mention that they were working on that, very straightforward. Ubisoft, on the other hand, because you had Chico on the Roadhog going around trying to flank, and you had Cocombear on the Sabra, but their skills, they're also just they weren't jiving as much. They weren't getting the right timing on that. Could it be a communications problem?
That's true. Maybe, just maybe. I feel like though for Uber server that they are quite a tight knit group. I feel like personally they are very well together, but the biggest issue has to be in game. They're just unable to really be potent. They have found ways to be communicative, that's for sure, as we see from EMP plays, how they execute on the spots. But beyond that, it really has to be, mechanicals. The mechanical skill there for Uber server is something they need to work on as a team. They need to work on as units, because it really feels like they have that intrinsic chemistry within them as we go on into Volskaya Industries. Seems like though both teams are ready to go. And do you think UwUwatch can sweep this up, Mika, or can Uber server go for a comeback to try and get a map back at the very least?
Hasn't been unheard of for the underdog to come back during the last map. I mean, this usually is a time for the team on the upper hand side to experiment, possibly test a few plays. Sometimes or more often than not, don't really pan out because, well, by this point they can afford to lose this map. I guess that's why they try to be a little bit more playful, a little bit more experimental, and that's usually where the underdog comes out.
That's so true, Mika. This fourth map allows you to experiment, sure, but when you are looking to really climb up the charts, you need to get every single map. And we've seen multiple teams get a surprise win on map number 4 due to the fact that people are taking it a little more lightly. And well, it has to be UwUwatch's time to shine here and now, because no time like the present, and it's the only time they're gonna have left on this series. UwUwatch has already secured this match win, and we will have our second match after this map, ladies and gentlemen. That is Watch the Ponies versus Overbex, and we are gonna be very, very excited to see how this one is gonna unfold. But here and now, UwUwatch gonna be defending on the left-hand side. Will be trying to play it as steady as they can. Sacred though playing the Wrecking Ball on the D. Comber on that Symmetra instead, something we talked about already with the TP play. Keep an eye out on Mercy. So on the McCree again, that Peacemaker gonna be looking to get a lot of damage into this one.
And we are also seeing that wonderful duo of Charlotte and UwUwatch on the Winston and Wrecking Ball. And look at that, UwUwatch already in the back line of UwUwatch.
UwUwatch infiltration is key, and this is really good here for the aggressive dive if they can actually find their formation. But Mercy gets the catch on, does get Sue. Sacred on the counter Wrecking Ball, and this is an interesting strategy here for UwUwatch. They're playing Sacred on the ball just to go for the pile drivers, and Mercy is just cleaning up with the hot hand. Kadena though might be looking for the same, and for UwUwatch, well, they are taking a little bit of the cake that they have been handed with and shoving it in the face of UwUwatch instead. Pile drivers are bad, Sacred gains the value, and nobody is ready with the mines, but it's more of a supporting role here for the blue Wrecking Ball.
That's right, and Sacred pulling out the Wrecking Ball as well, saying, okay, here we go, two can play at that game, UwUwatch.
UwUwatch though, as we said, mines available, showing a lot more expertise onto the hero. Already rolling on the round, 1,000 more damage. Here we go with the sleep, here we go with the stun, here we go with the CC. A lot of here we goes, but UwUwatch still survives. Even he has to say, here we go, let's get on out here. 54 HP, a sliver of HP to survive. And now the mines set on up yet again. Good ball driver there, they take care of Mercy first. And what a concentration fire there from the side of UwUwatch. They go for Mercy, initiating onto the McCree. Biggest shutdown of them all. Both barrier now set on up though, and UwUwatch trying to play the dance of death and trying to play the dance with the barrier.
That's right, and I feel like UwUwatch just really has more mastery of the Wrecking Ball over here, just because like, he knows when he's gone too far and he knows when to back out. Like a while ago, he was literally one, and he knew just when to dash out right away, just to make sure that UwUwatch did not get that frag.
Well, for UwUwatch, they are still holding steadfast. They found a way to really stall for time, and really supporting Mercy here is such a good way for them to deal with things. Oh no, UwUwatch makes a little bit of mistakes, falls on down. That's a transition. You know, you praise someone a lot, and then they mess up in front of you, and we're like, never mind.
I know, it's a curse, or maybe it's like stage fright a little bit.
You're jinxing him. You're basically jinxing him,
yeah.
Mika.
I'm sorry. That was my fault. That was my fault.
Are you a witch doctor? Is that how it works? But hey, into the brawl we go. And UwUwatch this time does get the pin, does get the boop rather on the Karna. But the high ground taken here by Mercy. Kadena with the surprise flag. And the McCree stays alive here and now till Bear gets the chase down instead. UwUwatch right now trying to make things work. Sacred rolling around yet again. It's a Doomfist actually here for Nuvox. And I like this here for UwUwatch. They get the swap onto something very, very different. And this is a good way to shut down Sacred because his mobility on the Wrecking Ball isn't as quick as in UwUwatch. A lot more predictable because he's going for pile drivers only. And UwUwatch making this Doomfist matter, making this Doomfist count, and getting some insta-frags out of nowhere with only 48 seconds left on this time bank.
Oh, awkward barrier over there from Bear. And going into the second point, we have UwUwatch, Kadena, and Invox, as well as two Happy Ball with their ultimates ready. It's looking quite good over here from the side of UwUwatch.
UwUwatch still has a pretty good time back, 3:29 on the clock. Bear swaps over to the Sombra instead, and does get the first frag on the board. So the Sombra McCree, I feel like this is what UwUwatch wants to play into the future. It's a very, very stable comp for them. They can play the Sombra to a solid way, and really allowing Bear to play a little bit of a supporting role into this one. Now Invox trying to survive, will get the peel off, will get whittled down eventually by the defensive end. Well, UwUwatch.
UwUwatch here though, still looking good in ult economy, and they also have Charlotte and Elixirine midway through theirs. And on the other side, however, UwUwatch, they have their support ults, which could mean more sustainability, but I don't know, I'm pretty scared about those mines over here from UwUwatch.
Mines are online, and Mercy right now trying to go for a brawl as Cadena does get the Deadeye on from the high ground, taking care of Bear, but Mercy cannot be in harm's way like that. Will get picked off eventually, will fall on over, and right now, it's Santa Claus trying to get things done. We'll go for the Chatter here and now, looking to survive, looking to sustain. Cadena though, frags on the board yet again, and looking around one last moment. UwUwatch now with the first tick taken, gets the second on the board. Will this be a third? Bear unable to get the contest in time, doesn't get the hack whatsoever. Here comes Sacred. Mercy though onto the high ground, but a good bubble there from Charlotte at the last moment. Deadeye doesn't really get too much though. Server getting frags out of nowhere because Karna and Santa Pops are back into the fold.
Oh, it's looking really tight over here, and as we are heading into the last few seconds of this match, it's looking like Server are holding strong over here, but can they withstand the deluge from UwUwatch?
Deluge, what a term, but the Doomfist right now just going for the 1-2 combo. Yeah, it's like you got Thesaurus or something, Mika. What a word indeed. But speaking of words, all I can say about Server is they are really looking good with this Wrecking Ball on the defensive end. They're playing it in a very different style, and it's working pretty well against UwUwatch. It's more reactive, it's more about the peel, and I feel like the idea here for Sacred is if you can't beat them, join them, but play it very different. He's going for chases against Inoryusu. He's going for simple boops, not really making some plays, but instead looking to charge things up and get some damage done. And when they're playing on the objective, it works out well for them because they are going to have that CC factor instead of really going for someone specific. But the big deal here for Server is they cannot afford to lose members like this if they are going to be playing that Wrecking Ball like that. We have Mercy though swapping over to the main instead. Ice Block is instead. Cadena with the Deadeye connecting onto one, going for a few shots here and there. And for UwUwatch right now, they are all over the objective yet again. Flashbang right now, gonna get that kill. Here comes Santa Pops trying to go for the charge. Last ditch effort from the Reinhardt, gonna fall on over. And still, the staggers here from Server, absolutely impressive. They're able to get the touch in time, they're able to get onto position. And Server setting up the mines again. The jump on in right now, inbox with the kill. UwUwatch running out of time though. Server doing a really good job of playing the stall, but in the end, it's 16 seconds left on the time back. UwUwatch finishing things off with a pretty proper transition to the objective.
I just feel like Server is just so much more prone to panic, especially, you know, once that overtime music kicks in. You see a lot more mistakes coming from them as they head into the last few seconds of the match. You can see a lot of, you know, people letting go, possibly like, you know, rushing onto the point when they can afford to hang back for just a little bit, maybe wait for a few more teammates so that they can sustain more. But it's looking like UwUwatch knows how to exploit that.
Exactly, and it has been such a it has been something of a fun one. It has really been basically absolute chaos, especially on this map, with two Wrecking Balls being very annoying on both sides, everyone getting booped around. And well, that's pretty much how it just unfolds here between Server and UwUwatch. Now Server are gonna have a good chance to actually get this map because they only give up the 2 points with only 16 seconds left. So if we turn into a second round, they're gonna be more likely having more time in the back. But hey, it is what it is, and now it's time to see what defense is gonna be bringing us. Aggressive dive again. McCree and the Doomfist inbox showing up with the fist, and he's been absolutely furious getting those kills.
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing because of the comments that only 2 Wrecking Balls can give. I'm not gonna land you in trouble in this stream.
That's okay, we can talk about it. The 2 Wrecking Balls is the one hanging lower to the other? That's the real question. But you know what's gonna be hanging on high, Mika? It's Mercy on that Pharah again. Pharah, Mercy into the field. Vernon though gonna be playing that Moira instead. All about sustain here and now. And it seems like Server is getting some really quick frags on this round. Here comes Mercy imposing whatever she wants to do. Just enjoying the Rocketeer to her full glory. Sleep Dart though will connect already from Listerine. Has been pretty clutch with a few abilities here and there. But when UwUwatch is back in the corner, that is the honor gonna be falling on over one last time. But there you go, first point up being taken by UwUwatch, by Server rather. A very quick transition to get the objective.
That's right, easy peasy for Server. I feel like Mercy was like, okay, I've had enough. Bringing out the big guns, literally bringing out the Pharah's blaster over here. And once she pushes onto the Pharah, you know she means business.
It's true. As here comes UwUwatch right now into the front line again. Mercy's fragging out, but will get caught by Kadena instead. UwUwatch right now still trying to keep things up. Kadena is fragging out like crazy. This McCree finding this value. And 11 kills on the board here for Kadena, above and beyond everyone else. Mercy though, lagging behind just a little bit on 10. But hey, this is really such a dynamic TPS showdown between these two players.
That's right, and Mercy is ready with that barrage just in time for the next clash, and you know that she is prepared to do some real damage with it.
Ooh, poor Sacred transitioning on to the right. It just doesn't work out whatsoever. Here comes a few swings here and there though. Farshot gonna get tossed and no reason right now, ready with the mines. And UwUwatch looking to make things happen. It's for Inoriusu's time though. He gets the grapple and look at that speed boost! That is such an impressive tech there from Inoriusu. He uses the momentum to get on through to the other side and not burn him, gonna fall to the mines. Santa Pap's falling on over as well. What an angle taken there by UwUwatch. They just need to deal with the rest of the stragglers here on Ubi's server side.
Well, now I feel like Riso here is just showing off and just really having fun. And you know, you mentioned earlier that he really found home in the Wrecking Ball as they had their last match. So it's looking like here now he's just playing around.
Game time here, but Kadena goes on the outside. Very dangerous for McCree. Can Mercy get the punish? Not gonna happen. Ubi's server though with the push yet again. Here comes the Coalescence. Not Vernon trying to make it through to the other side. Mine's not gonna be set on up as well. Beautiful shatter though. Charlotte gonna get caught. Second pick not taken. Ubi's server with a pretty distinct advantage, but still need to get the contest on. Overtime still ticks on down. Here we go. A little bit of capture progress. The Ash on the high ground. A few dynamites here and there.
There we go. We are seeing UwUwatch here slowly closing on the point. Even though as Ubi's server had the upper hand, UwUwatch just knew how to play their cards and their resources just well. And there we go. They have successfully defended that third tick.
Goodbye, full cap. Hello, struggles. And well. You guys, everyone are just... I love how Ubi's server and UwUwatch are just having a great time anyway. They have had a lot of banter so far. And I feel like this has been the closest match overall in the game, besides Nepal. They have been very, very put to the test. Sacred again messing up the tech. That is the second time he fell down there, Mika, by the way. So there's not only a hole where the Wrecking Ball fell from in the ice, there's another hole right now. Or maybe it's the same hole. It's just the same place, same time, same kind of situation. But speaking of falling down, Inoriusu with the power drive from above. And Team UwUwatch defending it again.
It seems like Santa Pops over here is just falling out of sync with his team. He just, ever since he lost it that first time, he can't seem to get back into it. He's always out of respawning at the wrong time. I think they really need a full regroup for this to work.
Yeah, it's just all about setting up as a full team, and in a scenario like this, well, Bear does have that Soldier 76 ultimate running on around with a tactical buy, so it's gonna be a pretty good way to get the damage done pretty consistently. Satapap still with the charge, and Ubi's server is sticking on down the time back. Self-destruct toss in the middle for Karna! Did you see that? The 4 Ana wedged into the wall by the self-destruct, and goodbye.
Oh, caught between a wall and a self-destruct. What are you gonna do? Well,
Die.
as an Ana, you can't really do much.
You die. That's exactly what happens. Inbox now fragging out again. And a good comeback here from Inbox. The Ash getting some value. McCree and the Ash double hit scan right now, forcing Mercy to swap over to McCree instead. So guns are blazing here for both sides, and we'll see who can have the hotter hand.
I could feel sort of like the frustration of Santa Pops over here. Sometimes he wants to deal with Inoriusu, but as a Reinhardt, there's really not much you can do with a Wrecking Ball. I think it's better for him to just leave it over to Mercy and those who actually can deal with the Wrecking Ball effectively. And right now it's costing him, it's costing him a lot. I mean, it's, you know, him charging in like that. It's high risk, high reward when a Reinhardt charges in.
Absolutely, without your tank in front. So easy to get whittled down by every single little bit of damage. The shield so helpful in so many ways. But right here, right now, Team Ubi's server running out of time. A minute 28 left on the clock. Here comes the Norris again with the power driver with the mines, being as pesky as can be. Still gets two. And wow, this Wrecking Ball looking nigh unstoppable overall this series. How about you, Mika? How do you think you can stop Norris in his tracks?
Oh my gosh, you know what, you really have to bring out maybe the Roadhog, you really have to bring out all of the CCs right now with somebody as annoying and as pesky as Inoriusu, and I mean that as a full compliment. And Stisan pops over there just desperately trying to do something, but he was not there with his team. And of course, when you hear the Diva Bomb, you want the Reinhardt to be in the right place. Luckily, though, nobody got killed by that Diva Bomb.
Look at this. It's now UwUwatch's time to shine. They get to the objective. Shatter on the right-hand side. Sacred position. And Mercy with the Deadeye. Will we actually get a 1 minute marker here on the second round? That's going to be the real question here. Might be a C9. Very, very close. And UwUwatch at the last moment gets the touch. 1.1%. And UwUwatch is trying to cascade on, but it's a 2-for-1 trade. Charlotte into the front line. Inbox getting frags yet again. And Bob is available. Can get a toss done. It seems like UwUwatch, though, feeling confident they don't need the Butler. But as I say that, it's Bob in the middle. And this is the chances of UwUwatch slipping on the way. Oh my god, Sacred gets enough of the boops. And it is a C9 from UwUwatch. A minute to a minute of 1. As close as it could be.
Of course, when you have a match as intense as that, so much going on. Ang saya, says Codina. Yup, definitely. There's so much going on in there. It's easy to forget that, you know, you just have a few more seconds onto that point. And UwUwatch, I can totally understand. I mean, that happens sometimes. But that was a big C9. And unfortunately, this means we are going into another match, another round on Volskaya.
Volskaya Industries, the never-ending story. A minute to a minute of 1. We still gotta interview someone. We still have another match, and wow, this game taking the cake really. We have been online for so long for this match number 1. I do want to give a shout out to match Washed Up Homies as well as Overbex to apologize that their match is gonna be going later than expected, because it seems like for UwUwatch and UwUwatch, they have really had some really close bouts overall. Nepal going all the way, Kings Row almost going all the way as well. And here on UwUwatch and UwUwatch map number 4, 2 rounds of action, absolutely ridiculous. Still got another match to go, Miss Mika, but hey, it's gonna be looking pretty interesting into this one.
That's right, and now Infox is bringing out the Echo, something a little different for UwUwatch this night. Codina's still on that McCree though.
Inbox is on the Echo. Pretty interesting. If I remember correctly, it was Codina who played the Echo, but maybe it was Inbox actually. I can't really remember. But they have whipped this out before, so we'll see if it is going to be in the repertoire. But Codina is just the McCree god here. Team UwUwatch with the push already, trying to make it through to the other side. Mercy going to be swapping over to Torben after her demise. But UwUwatch has basically overrun the opposition. UwUwatch unable to get any of their antics on. And with UwUwatch just dominating at the front line, pushing forward with that Echo as well as the aggressive dive. Space being created, allowing the DPS to do her work. Well, it is going to be a full cap here and now for the side of UwUwatch.
That's right. I don't think there's much that UwUwatch can do at this point that rather than just surrender the point and just regroup on the next one. But it's looking like Sacred is looking to cause a mayhem as Riso is on his way to the next point.
UwUwatch in the middle. Echo still in hand. They're playing the Echo Mercy, really going for the pocket sometimes. But they do have the McCree, a really stable target to begin with. Gomber though, swap puts into the Farah. A little dangerous though, because the Echo a lot speedier than the Rocketeer. There we go with the Resurrection. Shotguns now bouncing from Mercy. Good snipe, takes care of Cadena. Assassinates him behind. And Oriusu though with the mindset on up. And it's time for overtime yet again. Can UwUwatch finish things off? Inbox turning into the Reinhardt, and Oriusu getting every single frag that they need. Here comes the Shatter! Puts the stun onto the tank line, and that should be enough here for UwUwatch to really finish things off. Overtime still ticking on down. Here comes Mercy though on the Reaper. Charlotte with the poop again, taking care of the Batiste. And spawn advantage here for UwUwatch, gonna be their only saving grace. They are gonna be trying to get things done. That's the Ash falling on over yet again. Inbox finding the final catch. Duffel Bear. Around and around he goes. Here comes the push. Here comes the contest. Here comes the Deadeye as well from Cadena. And on the conveyor belt, he makes it happen. Sends a little bit of a hide at the Sacred. Mine's immediately blown up by those barriers. And absolute chaos onto the points. Neither side letting up whatsoever. But right now for UwUwatch, they have the advantage. Second tick taken. Can anyone else touch? UwUwatch still trying to survive with the Death Blossom. But oh my, Mercy all alone in the middle, taking care of the McCree, but that's pretty much it. Resurrection though, bringing Godena back into the fold. And UwUwatch only need to take care of the Wrecking Ball. It's all about the peel potential. It's all about trying to get the focus fire on. And this is UwUwatch right now surviving to get the full cap. 87 kills to 49. pretty intense standings overall here from UwUwatch.
Oh my god, that is crazy. Yes, Invox. Intense. And I just feel like Invox over there, as he duplicated that Reinhardt, just celebrated a second too early. I mean, that match could have ended earlier when if they dealt with Mercy, who was the Mercy in the middle, just, shadow stepping all the way in the middle, and nobody just noticed her, and she was able to hold the point just for a few more seconds, few more precious seconds that allowed that fight to extend just a bit longer than it should have.
Absolutely, and hey, one more round, one last bout. Can Ubi server actually get things done? Hope you guys are safe and sound with all the rain going on the outside, but I'd expect you guys to be in instead. But hey, for Ubi server, Mika, we have seen them actually be able to get the overrun on the first, but it took them a long time to get the second. Will it be a same case here with only a minute remaining? They need to have every little bit of time to help them out.
Right, I feel like they really need to play their cards right, and Uber server so far it seems like they fall into the trap of playing more emotionally, or playing more, rather than going against being more reserved, which is, I feel like, with 1 minute on the clock, they really have to do that. They really have to play smart. So we're gonna see if they can pull through, though. Mercy on her main, on her Pharaoh main over here, might bring good tidings. Let's see.
Double air. Double air.
Ooh.
Goodbye. From air to the ground. So I was just about to say, this is the double air the double flight composition between the Echo and the Pharah. But as soon as Charlotte shows up, Mercy is immediately grounded. But immediately comes the pin. Santa Pops playing the White Knight there, getting the counter onto Charlotte and Uma's server. Having the heals also from Not Vernon, really keeping them alive. But Kadena, absolute essential shots. 2 frags on the board already. The McCree, such a big way to really put a stop to any kind of push.
Absolutely, Kadena just there, just in the right place at the right time, and picking off Mercy really early, just threw Ubi server's game off just for a few seconds, without it. They didn't know what to do with her, and with 1 minute left on the clock, every second definitely counts.
Every little bit, every little chance, but seems like Uba server running out of chances, no one to touch, and UwUwatch will take the 4-2. So close, but so far away. And GG, well played to both, but that's a clean sweep taken by the side of UwUwatch.
That's right. Congratulations to UwUwatch, and I would think that, oh wait, we have a Moira play once again, one of your favorites, Daks.
Yes, I love Moira play of the game. Best play of the game. Pochi is not broken whatsoever, guys. I love Moira. Great hero. Always a pleasure to see absolute skill. But two Happy Ball, jokes aside, getting some really good value there with the Coalescence. And that is why, that ultimate is sometimes bugged to really give you play of the game. Because you do healing, you do damage, and you get some value just basically existing and pointing that beam strong.
That's right, and look at that. It is predominantly red on the card on the leaderboard. But with Santa Pops doing 20 block,
a big block there from the Reinhardts, and well, that is a 4-0 there in favor of UwUwatch. We'll be right back, guys, in just a bit. We'll be setting things up for a post-match interview, and we'll be looking to get into our second game of the night. Sorry about those delays, that match did go long, but we will be right back with the New Wave Invitationals.
Ding 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 ding.
Beautiful, beautiful
Um,
intro there. Hello. So welcome guys to our post-match interview and welcome to Cadena of UwUwatch coming on in for our last part, our last segment of only this first match. So we still have another match, guys, and I am so excited to get into that one in just a bit. But hey, Cadena, how was your match? How was it to get a 4-0 victory against Uber Server?
it went well. We really don't have any plans about this. We weren't playing together recently, and we thought that after our last match with washed up homies, we got lost, and we don't know what to do. So one of my team members, our team captain Charlotte, told us to yo guys, you guys should just chill. You just have fun out there. Just do your thing, do your jobs, and everything will work out fine. And then that's what we did. And I don't know, things just fell to our place, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's true. That's true. You guys did absolutely amazing, and I love your new identity, playing such an aggressive dive with Inoryusu on that ball, and you're really, really solid on that hit scan as well. So, what made you guys switch things up? What made you guys actually go for a composition like that that really worked out in your favor? Just such a good way to really deal with any kind of opposition by oppressing them, and overall, a really well balanced there for Uwatch. So, how did that really unfold to become your roster?
First, we wanted to try our comfort picks, and Ino was always asking because he was the younger on our roster, the youngest to our roster, and he was always asking if he could play ball because we are so used to him by playing Ryan all the time, like all the time, and we didn't know that he had this such pure talent on playing Hammond, and he asked us like recently 2 days ago if he can play ball on this match tonight, and there you go. And we just did our comfort picks, I guess.
Yeah, and it was very comfortable. It was very strong and was absolutely impressive. But hey, it was such a good showdown, especially you and Mercy. Can you talk about that? Having to face off against a very, very strong hit scan on the other side. Real, it's not even hit scan, just a very strong DPS in general. It's hit scan and projectile. But how did it feel really dueling against Mercy there? What were really like some of your favorite moments in your DPS versus DPS fight?
Oh God. First of all, huge props to Mercy. She was so good, man. I was struggling in the first place when he came in, like after the halftime, I guess. And if I remember it right, yeah, I was having a hard time to pick him out, but I said, "Oh no, 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 I ain't gonna kill him. I have no guts to," and I felt like I can't, and I just focused on fan the hammering Ryan's shield, breaking shields, picking the low ones, and yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's just pretty good. So now moving into a new identity here for Overwatch. What do you guys think is gonna be the future of Overwatch in the new wave invitationals? Are you guys really playing for success or just here to have some fun, make some content? So what's up? Are you guys practicing and the like? What's been basically the plan of Overwatch so far, and what's the plan of Overwatch into the future?
Basically, we have no plans. Second thing is, we're just having fun. We're here to compete, but we win or we learn. That's just it. I mean, a loss is a loss, but hey, yeah, we learn and we move forward. So I guess that's it.
I love it. I love it. How about you, Mika? You got any questions here for Kadena?
No further questions, but let's hear some shout outs if you guys want to.
Yeah,
Friends, family, fans.
exactly,
Oh,
exactly.
all
All
right.
you, Kadena.
Can I shout out my teammates' streaming
Yeah,
platforms?
of course. You got this.
Yes.
Yeah, we do
All
that
right.
every
Shout
single time.
out to Big Gaming, Nick Gaming, Invox Gaming, Elixirine Gaming, Jetstream Jack, and Inuar Yusu. Shout out to my friends, turn to family out there. Vince Soriano, Ricky Rumbawa, Linus Amog, Carlos De Martin, Ivy Policarpio, Rap Tapang, Sherilyn Tapang, to my dad, June Texan, to my mom in heaven, Joy Texan, I love you so much. This one's for you. To my teammates, Jack and Dizumi for being there to support us, and to my crush, Giseth Martinez. Hello.
Damn, that's a
Wow,
lot of
the
people.
shout out to Crush.
This is the on-screen confession here, and again, shout outs to all of UwUwatch to really showed up, and people that's been streaming as well their POV. Again, we were just like, hey, reminder, you gotta take things out. It's like, oh crap, forgot about it. I was like, Mika, we forgot about that part. Forgot about that rule. Let's fix it up. There you go, just fix it up just for them. And well, UwUwatch did impress with a 4-0 victory, and it was such a good show. Thank you, Kadena, for coming on and to our interview. We'll be sending you back
Thank you,
now
Sir
as
Dax.
we
Thank you,
break
Miss Mika.
down, yes, the last parts of
Appreciate y'all.
that match. We appreciate it too. There you go, Mika. That was Kadena, and honestly, a pretty stellar star of the show there. But before we go over to our next match, let's just quickly recap our results. It was a pretty close affair in many facets of the match. Nepal a 2-1, Kings Row 3-2, Havana 3-1, Volskaya 4-2. All taken by UwUwatch, but a lot of impressive plays overall there by Ubisoft's side. But what do you think? What was really the story of that match?
Definitely, it was, I think, Arisu and Charlotte just, jumping in there and again wrecking havoc and causing chaos, and that they just really couldn't figure out that puzzle. They couldn't deal with them as fast enough. Ubisoft couldn't deal with them fast enough. So I feel like they really went with that identity all throughout. I think Ubisoft had so many chances to crack that code, but they just didn't this night. So maybe they'll have a chance to do it again in future matches. But for now, the night definitely goes to UwUwatch.
That's true, that's true. UwUwatch has shown that they are just so absolutely potent in so many ways. And well, they have moved up the standings, Mika. They are now in 4th place, just behind Washed Up Homies. Ubisoft still staying on basically where they were in the first place. But hey, so 2-1, 1-2, not the worst. So Wamanagi all the way up in the lead. And we still have another match coming our way, and that is Washed Up Homies versus Overvex. Can Overvex tie things up on their scoreline, or will Washed Up Homies really go above and beyond and go up in that way? But hey, that was an amazing time there in our new Invitationals. And that was only match number 1. What's your favorite moment, Mika, of that whole match?
Oh, you know what? My favorite moment was definitely seeing the two wrecking balls just really trying to, just really trying to out hamster each other. It was so much fun. It was really makulit, in other words, and I just thought it was, especially on the last point in Volskaya, when people that fourth point is really sometimes where people tend to, like I mentioned, play around, and I feel like those two wrecking balls were.
It never ended. Okay, so that was the never-ending story in a never-ending match, and at least we are finally done with match number 1, and we have gone way past time. We are supposed to start our second match at 9:30, so big shout-outs to Overbex and Washington Police being patient about that match and just enjoying every little bit of the action. But that has to be it for us in match number 1, and Miss Mika can be bowing on now, hopefully to get our favorite caster online. I wonder if he's online.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, he's not. Shout outs to Fascinate, who's up there in Dreamland. I miss him already. I told
I
him, I was like, you're not
know.
gonna be able to handle this if you're match number 2.
It's
And
like
and
he's
there
in
you
another
go.
country.
He's in Dreamland. He's also in not entering lobby. So it is what it is. It's no problem whatsoever. We'll get our backup caster who's always ready for Fascinate, not waking up, ready to go. And I love that this has also become a dynamic of the New Wave Invitationals. Will Fascinate wake up? Stay tuned. But stick around, guys. We will be coming on back with our second match. Big shout outs to Mika for casting this first one. You can check that out at twitter.com.
Overbeck. Shout out to
Mika
Overbeck,
Fabs.
our
Shout
sister team.
There you go.
We
Shout outs
love
to Overbex as
ya.
well. Big supporter of that squad. And we'll see you guys in just a bit. This is the New Wave Invitationals.